There I am! It's nice to see you, Tiana. I hope we can provide, well, because I'm singular here, that I can provide you a bit of company and cheer. Oh. Now, I just finished eating an oatmeal mug cookie, so my mouth might be slightly messed up for a little bit. At least this time it wasn't dinner that I ate right before stream. It was dessert. So let's see. Ha. I did finish a cookie. Well, as much as a cookie as it can be. Being made in a mug and all. Now let's see. Looks like we only have 2 more chapters inside the, what did you say, main story, and then we can do the 2 side stories. Hopefully my throat will last. Continue. Yes. Oh boy, I hope I can do all the voices, because I think I might have. The mug cookie was a little warm. Well, we'll find out. Here we are. Hmm? Hello? Eh? Do you do some decisions? I think this is not a visual novel, it's a kinetic novel, meaning there's no decision making. It's literally just an animated book. There's a difference. People usually don't care to write down the difference, though. There's like some interactivity, but yeah. So who's coming down here? Oh? Gus. Is that his name? These bloody things, I just... Ugh. Now who's making a mess? Heck. Don't scare me like that. You'll, mate. You don't look so good. Huh? This thing? Yes, Che. It's fine. It's very obviously not. You keep yourself together. Fine. I've only seen this once before. People don't tend to last as long as you or I. And even when they do, it just hurts like hell. Yeah. Che's never been to hell, but he's pretty sure he wouldn't like it. Does Maddie know about this? No. She's got enough guilt to deal with. I'm sure she's just believes I'm uncomfortable like Kishan is. Which stage is he at? Headaches. Headaches. My bad. Got the accent. Memory loss. We had a bit of a chat about it yesterday. Che. I know. I'm not staying much longer. I'll stop disturbing the balance before long. Balance just means things aren't changing. That's not always a good thing. Some balances need to be upset. Damn that balance. You're falling apart as I watch. Like I said, I'm not staying long. I cannot believe Maddie's presumptuousness. Maddie likes to presume things. It's easy and it reduces the amount of time she has to spend listening to other people talking. Hey, cut it out. She realized that she's messed up, and she's doing her best to make amends. Surely it's too late for that. I don't think so. Come on. Come sit down. Things aren't that bad. No? No. I might be dying, and I might be having to deal with a lot of pain and guilt, but... Guilt? I feel like I failed as a mentor for Maddie. She's not going to regain her confidence for a long time, I think. It's even hard to regain your confidence when you've got no one to confide in. In necromancy? And just in general. It's easy to second-guess yourself over every little decision after something big like this happens. I'd appreciate if she second-guessed herself a little more often, to be honest. I'm sure you would. Anyway, aside from the pain, and the guilt, and the impending death might be the worst kind of death. When death comes, you don't have to worry about it anymore. I feel quite good. Yeah, you sound like you're doing great. Huh. I'm just happy that she doesn't feel like she has to save me anymore. Even if that's just a result of her not managing to pull off the ritual. I don't feel like it was ever about the ritual, was it? No. We tried it the first time just because we were feeling like doing something risky. Something that could give us a little extra breathing room. Breathing room for... getting the council off our backs, actually. Getting some space to pursue our studies without outside interference. It's hard to study when someone is constantly looking over your shoulder, especially when you're studying things you're not supposed to be. Oh. But even then, that was just, I don't know, maybe motivated by spite or something. You got plenty of reasons to feel that way towards us. I don't feel that way towards you, mate. You know that, right? I had some doubts. You might be a constant needle in my side, but you're also one of my oldest friends. And that means a lot more than any sort of affiliation with a bunch of snobbish prudes who wouldn't know innovation if it slapped them in the face. Oof. That doesn't mean I don't miss the good times we had. We were undermining governments before. It was cool. You mean the prank letters we kept sending to the Parliament in 77? The Council of Death isn't the only governing body that the Terminal's residents have semi-permanent beef with. Ooh. Subversive pushes for real democracy. Uh-huh. You know, even when I met you, you seemed like you'd never die. I didn't know anything about you, but you had a weird energy around you. I didn't plan on it, really. Plan was to stick I don't know who's talking. Stick around as long as I wanted to, and then move onwards when I felt like it. A rolling stone might be plummeting towards danger, but at least it's not gathering any moss. True. You feel like moving on? I'm getting more comfortable with the idea. Icarus didn't want to fall into the ocean either, but everything's gotta fall out of the sky at some point, and Maddie was just trying to catch me. You're not actually okay with this. No, I'm not. Lying to myself is easier than admitting that. I'm going to miss you, mate. Chase never tried to draw attention to himself, and his absence is always felt. I hope you won't forget me. No. Forget you? I'm going to stick a photo of you up on that wall in our office. Big one. Ha! But seriously, I want you to know that you've been a good friend, even though we've taken different paths. When they caught me and pressed me into service, seeing you again was the thing that really brought me back to life. Made me realize I could live like this, stuck here, because there was nobody else left for me. Nobody who could see me, at least. You know? I won't forget that. That means a lot to hear. Thank you, friend. Hi, I know you wanted good vibes, but I had a feeling this would be depressing. Whoops, sorry. Hey. You alright, mate? He looks even deader than death. I'm gonna sit here for a bit if that's okay. Right here on the ground. If you'd like me to leave, just let me know at any time and I'll let you be, alright? It's a nice day out. Weather here can be a pain in the arse, but days like this, they make it worth it, you know? I love to just sit and let the sun warm me. Oh, his arm's still doing the thing. Sometimes when basking in the sun on a lazy afternoon, Che really does start to feel like everything's going to be alright. It's been a couple of weeks since it happened now, and I feel like the sun's warmth is the only thing that really helps me pull myself together. You know, yeah, what you're feeling? I'm feeling it too, pretty intensely. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. A few times a day, I totally lose myself, as in my sense of self, and also my physical self, but if you plan on sticking around and taking a position with the council, that'll go away. You definitely don't want to stick around as long as I have. Not to assume intent or anything. I just had a hunch seeing as you were talking to Ned. They're not evil, they're just impartial, which is its own kind of cruelty. I wouldn't judge you if you wanted to stay either. There are plenty of delights hidden in Melbourne's dark corners. Ned can show you around, if you ask nice enough. I'm sorry, mate. Gotta ask. Is this helping at all? Because I'm honestly happy to sit here in silence. I thought you'd appreciate a yawn, though. No, it's fine. Alright. So fun things in Melbourne. I suppose the story starts around 1860s when I first came over. I learned the language pretty quick. Not that it helped with dealing with the colonials. What did you come over for? Gold. Same as everyone else. And so? Then he showed me these ridiculous drawings himself wearing armor like a medieval knight. Always had an odd noble streak in him. Maybe... oh, that was a jump. Maybe he didn't aim at it in the right direction all the time, but then he left before I could help him use it a little more productively, and things changed pretty quickly after that. I see. It's never too late, though. Maybe you'll be able to help him rekindle it, eh? Keep an eye on the candle. Sometimes you need to let it get dim, just to remind yourself of why we need to keep it burning. Me? Oh, I don't think I could. It'd be easier than you'd think. I'll have to take your word for it. Regardless of whether you decide to meddle, you take care of him for me, alright? That man has a lot of pain, and Maddie's not necessarily always the nicest about it. I know that I'm asking a lot. You don't have to coddle him or anything. Just watch out for him when you can. I think I can do that. Think. Oh? You. You heard that, right? What? The noise inside? Yes? Is it something bad? I have a rough idea of what it is. No need to worry. I'll deal with it. And if I don't see you before I go, you will. I'll make sure I'm here. See you in a little bit then. Up he goes. Ah. Get him, Cooper. Make your creator proud. Palmer, stop slacking. Duck and weave. Kick his butt. That's an order. Ashley. Wah. No knife this time? I mean, what? Turn around. Now how'd this get... oh. Yeah, it went straight through you. Interesting. I'll say, you should perhaps not do this in the future though. Most people aren't as insubstantial as me. I'm trying to wean it myself out of the habit, yeah. You notice that this knife is slightly smaller than the previous one. I honestly can't tell the difference, but I'll take your word for it. I'll be throwing butter knives at the back of Maddie's head before you know it. Don't worry. Please don't murder each other after I go. Of course not. No, really. It'd break my heart if you two stopped being friends over something silly. I won't let it happen. Good. Oh, that one's broken. The poor boy. Now, what's happening here? Just doing some prototyping for Pro Battle Royale. Ah, that name though. What about it? I just feel like everything's a Battle Royale these days. I have no idea what you're talking about, old man. Never mind. I think it's a fourth wall joke. What's the story with these poor things? Cooper and Palmer? I wanted to see if they still remembered Asimov's law of robotics. Asimov may have been ahead of his time, but he was also a man of his time. And did they? No, Palmer gave me a light stab. Stabbing. Oh dear. Are you sure you're alright? Yeah, I like to give them a little taste of blood every now and then. There's nothing like the smell of blood to bring out the predator that's been kept hidden all this time. Makes him fight better, hungrier, hungry for victory, and blood. That's reassuring. And I'm assuming you'd rather them not follow Asimov's laws. You assumed correctly. Please don't let these mix in with the rest. It'll be impossible to tell them apart. Why would that be a bad thing, though? Because they'd be terrible at delivering coffee if they knew they could use the mugs as projectile weapons? I think they'd be extra enthusiastic. I won't, though, don't worry. I wasn't going to do it in the first place. Look at you, turning into a responsible human being. Hey, take that back! No, I'm proud. When you see the next generation ready to pick up the torch, you can rest easy knowing that the future is in good hands. With you and Maddie in charge, I feel like I'm leaving the cafe in good hands. Well, we'll do our best to make you proud, you old fart. What'd I just do to deserve that? Getting all sappy on me. Ah, you'd rather me not talk about it. Nah, it's fine. Feel pretty good about it. Good. People always come and go from here, right? Oh, I suppose you're used to it. I think so. Sort of expected to be all sad and emotional, but this is just another goodbye. Oh, and that's fine. I'm going to be sad, yeah, but I don't think this is a new feeling. Plus, you're always going to be around here, to some degree. Can't have the cafe without the J. You're a good egg, you know? So adorable! What? I was assuming there was going to be some kind of pun following that. I would never. Would you not? I probably would. The truth! It's finally revealed! It does! Oh. Good. 'Cause I'm great and you don't need any encouragement. Good egg? Really? I called you that because when you're around, it's always a shell of a good time. I'm always cracking up. Shay's skin cracks less than you'd expect from a man of his age, but he's always ready to crack a smile. She's not having it. You've got an excellent poker face there. Don't you like my yolks? I'm not scrambling the delivery, am I? Beautiful. Tiana, he's coming for your title. Well, good thing he's already dead. He can't take it for very long. I will take that, man. I now have a... Oh, okay. Never mind. That's how we ended this. Ooh, here you go. Let me know if I can get you anything else. That was not the voice I used for her before. Oh well. Can't leave you alone for a moment without you being mean to the customers, can I? You gotta stop appearing out of nowhere, man. Gives me heart palpitations. When your heart starts pounding violently inside your chest, you start to realize just how much you take things for granted. But you didn't even jump. I'm very startled. Internally. Maddie wears her emotions on the inside of her sleeve. Well, enjoy it while you can. You're going to keep using that excuse for everything, aren't you? Might as well, right? I guess I'll let you get away with it. How generous. But you gotta come downstairs and help me figure out some stuff. What sort of stuff? Science stuff. You want to troubleshoot the ritual, don't you? When you go to shoot trouble, bring a long barrel, a good scope, and a patient trigger finger. Yep. And you're sure you want to do that instead of anything else? Uh-huh. Well, we're here again. Oh wow, that thing's busted. What the heck? I don't remember leaving it like this. Unless you let a gorilla after I left or something. That didn't happen as far as I'm aware. Oh duh. What just happened to the building's subliminal memory? Here. That absolute ratbag, magicaps, exotic chalks. Oh. And not a single thought for how they're used or for obtaining the proper import licenses or... I'm gonna have to shut it down. No question. Oh, heck. That's not a good sign. Not surprising, though. That's a problem for later. Really? Yep. God, just look at these magicaps. They're totally fried. Maddie, I wonder if we just need some really big resistors in the circuit. What would they achieve? It just get harder and we lose some of the energy. No, I think we maybe had too much energy at that point. So if you dissipated some of it during the second phase, when we were trying to transfer it anyway, it might have stopped the conduit from overloading. Would it not be smarter to just try and transfer less energy in the first place? I think we'd have issues with opening the conduit in that case. We should have drastically rethought our approach after the first time. I'm glad we're having this revelation now instead of at any other time. And given the multi-phase structure of the ritual, it's obvious now that we need to shift the ways in which we were utilizing energy, instead of just boosting the amount we were trying to pump into it. Maybe I'm just talking in circles here, but I still believe that this is viable, just maybe not with this equipment. Have you got a pen? I have to write this down somewhere. I don't believe it's worth to keep on trying to make this work. I agree that it's probably possible, but what? I can't bear the thought of you getting yourself killed by trying this again. You've already gotten close to hurting yourself twice. But I didn't end up hurting myself, so it's okay. Yes, because I took the hit, both times. And as long as you're trying this, you're going to keep hurting people. And eventually you'll get to the point where you can't bear to see anyone else get hurt through your recklessness. So you use yourself as a test subject. And you will die. Get it into your head, dang it. You want to know what it's like to be on the other side of this? Wishing for one more day, one more good day where you can think straight and not have to worry about saying goodbye to your friends for the last time. I keep telling everyone that I'm fine with this, that my time was up anyways. Guess what? It's a lie. I was lying to myself and to everyone else. I'm terrified of leaving, and I'm pissed off too, and of course I'm pissed off, when life was never enough for me. I feel incredibly guilty, Maddie. And any failing of yours is mine, because I didn't teach you well enough. I'm too far gone to fix things, but not too far gone to care. But please, give me this. Don't throw everything away. Nothing is more important than this. Just don't. If you want to respect my memory, all you need to do is remember me. My life's work is the cafe, not this ritual. And I'll be damned if I let you throw that away, or throw yourself away just to stroke your own ego. My only regret, is chasing that power in myself, stretching myself thin to find extra time, and for what? Some overblown sense of achievement? I regret it. And as I stand on the cusp of oblivion, I realize that I am afraid for the first time. It's new Maddie, and it burns. I don't want to go. I want one more day. Just one more day. After all this, after you kept me here against my will without asking me, without taking a second to check whether I was okay with it, at the end, I can't bring myself to take the last step without being pushed. Isn't that ridiculous? It's not. Really am losing it, huh? Everything about me is drifting away. Che, it's not. I'm sorry. Let me finish. I shouldn't have forced you to stay. You're right. And everything you said is fair and valid and understandable, except for one thing. You might not feel like it, but you're still the Che I know and love. Doing your best to take care of everyone, keeping them safe from anything that they'd get in their way, and giving them the space to work things out themselves when they need to. I tried to follow your example, but I guess I didn't stick the landing on that last bit. Wish I could give this another shot, right from the start. You said earlier that having me in your life was a privilege. Che, the privilege is all mine. You feel guilty for this, and that's fair, but you've changed my life for the better in 1,000 different ways. And I think a lot of other people could say the same. I don't blame you. Maybe one day soon I'll be able to stop blaming myself too. I'm sorry for yelling. You didn't deserve that. It's okay. And you know it's okay to be scared. You can't practice dying. There's no test run for that. Even if we'd pull off the ritual, it'd only give you a month or two before things started getting bad again. But desperate times call for desperate measures, yeah. Look at us. Pair of saps, aren't we? Feel like it's healthy, like eating your emotional vegetables. No, this conversation's more like spinach. As in, good in a quiche I'd kick your ass if I didn't know my foot would fly right through it, you know? Very fair. I don't know if I can do this without you. Do what? All of this. I know things feel overwhelming right now. But believe me when I say that you're the most qualified person in the world to run this cafe. Most qualified living person. You heck. And I'm the most qualified person to make that judgment, so there. I guess I can't argue with that. You sure can't. I fully believe that you're going to do some great things with this place, if you can stop Ned from shutting it down. Don't fall into the mindset of preserving broken things just because they remind you of the past, okay? I won't. Atta girl. There's something I need to go do. Don't find me when you're ready. I won't be too far away. Alright, I will. Day 3, 4 p.m. Terminal. No, not like that! Like this! But you said not to tamp it too hard. Look at it! The coffee just fell out! You gotta tamp it hard enough that it doesn't fall out. You could have told me that before. I didn't expect you to just lightly tap it. Well... Hey, is this just gonna take much longer? I got somewhere to be. It'll be just a moment. It's just a short black. How are you finding this hard? I got this. Acceptable. Sometimes you just have to give what life gives you. Oh no! Hey, that was meant to be mine, right? We're just exploring synergies and working on disrupting the coffee industry. Please bear with us for just a moment longer. Again. No. Don't worry, mate, you're doing fine. Are you going to make my coffee? Actually, we're going to close up for the night. What? But it's not even getting dark yet. What sort of heckin' coffee joint closes at 5 in the afternoon? Basically, every place in Adelaide, I think. But we're not there. We're in Melbourne. So just go find... Oh, my bad. But we're not there. We're in Melbourne, so just go find coffee somewhere else. Unbelievable. What? What gives, old man? I'm closing because I want to spend time with you lot. Yourself included, Ned. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me. Of course not. How long are you planning on sticking around? Not much longer, you old curmudgeon. Ned's temper has always been his undoing. I didn't mean it like that. I know. You should all sit down. I'll make us drinks. So I decided that this is it. I'm gonna head off in a little while. You sound pretty calm about it. I am calm. So I suppose this is... Not yet. Oh, not yet. Alright. Oh, it's a treble clef. You want one too? Yeah, if that's okay. It's not like we have a shortage of curly straws. Well, in that case... Never say I'm not prepared. Oh yeah, it's perfectly fine. You never have to voice act if you're on call. If you just want to join on in, that's fine. When life gives you lemons. Yeah. I do want to check... Oh, my friend is asking the important questions about the name Necrobarista. Yeah, no worries. Man knows what his people needs. A rare virtue. A good man is hard to find. Well, it's very much appreciated. I'm just glad to see you all smiling. This shouldn't be a depressing memory for any of us. Day 3, 5 p.m. outside the terminal. Honestly, it's refreshing to see people's attitudes towards all this. Oh wait, my bad, it's you. I walked in here and felt pretty comprehensively awful about, but being here for this, it helped. I'm glad to hear that. When you see it so often, it's hard to not develop a more relaxed outlook, you know? Every month we get dozens of people like you. Heh. Like us, I suppose. If I have the power to help people be at peace before they move on, why wouldn't I exercise it? You're always too nice. Better too nice than too harsh, generally speaking. Not sure about that. I'm sad. I'm sad about this. I just wanted to make that clear. But I'm going to be okay. Promise. Thank you, little P. Hey, I need to ask you a favor. Me? All of you, actually. I need you to look out for Maddie for me. She's going to need some extra love for a while. Of course! Yeah. Alright. I know you two had your disagreements. No, it's fine. I'll play nice. You have my appreciation. Can't really say no, can I? You better bet I'm milking this. I'll allow it. Any chance you'll come along with me? Absolutely not. Got things to get done here. Can't be gallivanting off to higher planes when I'm drowning in obligations. Ned spent most of his life not taking responsibility for his actions, so his council gig has really been a change of pace for him. Well, I can't blame you for that. Speaking of Maddie, where is she? I think she's upstairs somewhere. I'll go up and join her shortly. Will you be coming back down? I don't believe so, so no. I see. Is there anything you three would like me to do for you before we go? Any special requests? Oh, nothing for me. I'd ask for a special drink or something, but I'm sure Maddie knows all your recipes. Recipes are a convenient way to store knowledge and pass it to the next generation. Hopefully they can be trusted with responsibility of handling it. You'd be correct there. Ashley? All I require from you is... your soul. No, you goofball, I need that. Well, in that case, can I have your stuff? You can fight Maddie over it. I say fight, but she'll give up pretty easily. Nice! Ned? Hmm? Anything you want before I go? Don't leave me. Ned always told himself to stay with him, but he never really believed it. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Don't worry about it. Got to be doing things for you anyway. Running errands, grabbing milk from the servo, you know. Huh. Man, the sun's getting really low. Gotta go in a moment, I'm afraid. Are you scared? Nah. Cool. Oof. Feeling old. Not half as old as you deserve to be feeling, I reckon. Trust me, I'm feeling it. Now. Oof. I'm gonna miss ya. Oh, someone said something and I wish you didn't have to go. Me too. It's been cool. Definitely. I'm glad you came in. Yeah, me too. Maybe I'll see you someday in the future. I'd like that. Not too soon, though. Of course. Ned? Got to go. Still can't believe you were the first one out of us to go. Life is full of surprise. Aw, a thing changed. I have no idea how to read it. Wherever I end up, I promise there'll be a place for you there. Any place can be home if you got friends to keep you company. Thank you. I'll always be proud of you, no matter what. Oh? What? Interesting. What's in there? Oh, I guess you can see the... Is it transparent? The heck? Alright, enough of that. Fair enough. See you around, mate. And you. This is sad. Hi. How you holding up?
Awful, just awful, dude.
Oh,
How are you holding up?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
Just,
That's
just a
good.
little tired right now. My sleep schedule finally got back to normal, question mark.
So, what is your time now?
Um, for me currently it's 4:35 p.m. And
Oh. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maddie maintained her calm. His body had laid here for weeks now, gently moldering. He'd refused to visit again after the first time. She didn't blame him. Can you really expect anyone to be cheery about— Ah! Hello? Welcome! Oh god. Mr. Aman? Emraman?
What happened?
I don't know how to pronounce your name or parse it. I am so sorry, but welcome. Thank you for following.
Oh, and you follow. Nice. Welcome.
Yeah. It was just— stuff was just yeeted at me, and I'm like, oh god, what's happening?
I mean,
But
that happens usually.
yeah. But she didn't mind doing that job anyway. She'd always liked gardening, bringing things to life. Oh, why is this all sad?
It's depressing, that's what it is.
So there was gonna be like a cool heist, you know, all that jazz, and then we get depression.
And then we have these guys. Are they just like. What are they even?
They're robots that Ashley has made by using the soul juice from dead animals.
Hmm.
That's what I've been able to gather.
Right. Got it.
So, I know that Ashley built us, but as the owner of the venue, aren't we technically bound to Che? What is the implication here? When he's gone, what happens to us? Huh? We'll be fine, right? What are you thinking? I don't know. It didn't really cross my mind until now. Worst case scenario, we all just vanish. Nah, worst case scenario, we vanish painfully. Thanks for that. I feel way better now. We'll probably be okay. Probably. How long until we find out? Should be any minute now. Well, this has been fun. Guess we'll just wait and see. I guess. Here we go.
Really love the way the scenes are actually done. It's cool. Like the one of them always gets like highlighted with the light.
Yeah. Oh wait,
I
I
think it's like
wonder.
neat in a visual way. I think it's neat.
Yeah. Actually, before we continue, I do wonder if you can make one of those scenes. I hope you won't forget me. Aw. Oh, hello.
Neat to
Where were
every
Maddie
single
supposed to
friend.
be? Hey,
Hey, can we
Maddie's
eat all?
supposed to be there.
Can we eat all the food?
Ooh, eat. We're behind the
Give it to
counters.
Fred.
Give. 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 Aw, I can't. Can't eat it. So sad.
Fine, then I'll just eat the cups.
Oh.
That ain't
That's
good.
interesting. Oh, we can't even leave. We're
That ain't good,
kinda
man.
forced to go out. No, oh, we can't go up either. No, we're really forced to go out. Just nothing even to interact with.
I
Oh, the
don't
clock
wanna
gets...
go out.
No. Oh, there it goes. Oh? Oh, why did my mouse... Mouse? Oh god, mouse, please focus back in. There we go. Okay, so not this way.
What is this backward music?
What is happening?
Are we having flashbacks or something?
I don't know. I know there's one more. Oh, mouse, please stop that. Oh. Interesting. This should be all the areas. Train? Train? Train. Oh, sorry. It keeps unfocusing the mouse. Oh.
It's a design choice.
That's a very difficult to handle design choice.
You're a wonderful person. I know you can handle it.
Oh. Maddie? Oh, I can't move.
Hi.
Oh, there goes the mouse.
She gave us the stare and we were like, oh, okay.
The mouse was freed from the confines of the program. Actually, it's still stuck in the confines of the program. I actually can't take it off of the window.
Ha.
Hey, old man. Hey, you. How you doing? Fine, I guess. That's good, I think. Yeah, I think so. Why is this so awkward? I've never had to do this before. Not even as the one who's... Not even as the one who's gotta sweep up the mess afterwards. Not like this, no. Gotta say, I'm a little surprised. Life has a way of taking you for a loop like that. So, are you gonna... No, not yet. Let's just sit for a few moments. It won't hurt. Sure. This is adorable. I'm sorry if this is kind of weird, but I can't go over this one thing. I'm here, sitting right here, but I'm also over there. You know? Feeling a little conflicted about it. Definitely. So you could say you're of two minds about it. I'm not going to dignify that with a laugh. Can't say I didn't try. But seriously, that's my grave. My body's right there. How weird is that? It is pretty weird, yeah. I don't feel quite as weird as I did when I was helping you bury it, though. Fair. Grave digging. All the manual labor of gardening with none of the rewards. You don't... You don't reckon I'm going to grow into a beautiful tree. Buddy, you're already a wise old oak. Dead wise old oak. Struck by lightning, yeah. So you don't think anything's going to grow out of me? Not unless you swallowed a bunch of seeds without me noticing. Afraid not. Guess I really don't know what you're meant to do when you're about to pass on. I'm not prepared at all. Am I meant to be doing extra self-care or something? You're better at all that stuff than I am. Yeah, man. Get yourself a bath bomb, light some candles, charcoal face mask, the whole shebang.
No,
Is that supposed to sound appealing? Yep. God, I'm out of touch. I made a bath bomb once, but it flattened a city block.
But no.
Close enough.
Not that kind of a ball.
And then some. Goodness, you are such a hellion. That's why I took you in. 'Cause I saw that attitude in you too. Bomb-making revolutionary? No, you're a born pioneer. When you put your mind to something, you'll never stop pursuing it until you get it done or kill yourself in the process. I'll try to avoid getting into the habit of assembling bombs then. Phew. Don't get me wrong, though, the bath bomb in question was definitely meant to be the sort that smells nice. For real. How did you screw up that badly? It was just a little bit too fragrant in the end. Amazing. That aside, I think it's hard to mess up lighting some candles, probably. You think I can just carry scented candles with me wherever I go?
He does, doesn't he?
Yes.
Well,
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't have any. Dang it. Tell me you've got some downstairs at least. Yeah, but I'm not going back to get them. No, that's fine. After I'm gone. Put a few around, maybe to remember me. I'll light them all up for you, don't worry. Cafe's gonna stink of chamomile for weeks. That's perfect. Beautiful. Now, I think it's about time. What do you think? This one's your call. As it should have been the whole time. Come on, let's have a look at your work, eh? It's always about time. Oh. It's very minimalist. I like it. Hush you. Oh. Fancy. Ah. The dramatic reveal. Very swish. Can't write history till it's happened. No, I suppose not. What's this written down here? Maddie, did you put poetry on my headstone? Give it to read. We see but dimly through the mists and vapors, amid these earthly damps. Seems to us but sad funeral tapers, may be heavens to distant lamps. Ah. That's comforting. Chin up, old friend. It's just another step. You just gotta keep on putting one foot in front of the other, no matter where you're going. You told me that back when I was a depressed mess who wandered in here looking to hide from everything. Throwing my own advice back at me, you monster. Ha! I guess I should stop dawdling now anyhow. You do you. I feel guilty for swinging back and forth on you, being anxious, then eager, then scared, then brave. It's cool. I'm not gonna have a go at you for it. And you have every right to feel complex feelings about this specific, very scary thing. Thank you. But I can't do this. I can't stand here making you wonder if I'm going to do it or not. I need to do it now, or I'll never leave. Maddie, It's okay, mate. Take a deep breath. Take it in. Let it all out. Okay. All right. Maddie. Yeah? You got this. We'll see each other again. Oh, there can go.
and he gone.
Yeah. Double shot long black. An interesting achievement name. It'd be hilarious if the game just like pulled up a whole completely separate story now, and it's just like, gosh dang it, the game's like a million times longer than I thought it would be. Anyways,
Oh my god.
that'd be hilarious. But I think that's the end of the main story, at least. It's going to be weird going back to the side stories and seeing Che alive, but dead, but alive.
Well, that's okay.
Yeet. I like this story. It was interesting and sad, but I liked it. Also, not the
Yes.
gameplay I was expecting.
Yeah. I suppose in like the games I have seen like a year or two now, this is like one of the, let's say, a bit standing out of the norm, just a tiny bit different, and with you not
Yeah.
needing to stress over decisions, but just like getting to know the story and just watching animations. I think that's a great approach.
Yeah.
I
There's...
feel
Huh?
yeah,
Continue.
yeah, sorry. I feel like games now lately are sometimes maybe trying to go too much deep with the lore and are too much about making decisions, even if for some part of course that's fun. But if every single game is gonna do that with like their own story, I feel like it's a bit too much. So it's kind of refreshing to just have like a visual novel but without decisions, just the story itself. It's nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. It's great. But yes, now you may continue.
No, I was gonna say that, Team Dog Pit,
Hmm.
uh, had to make sure I got the name correct. They make, games kinda like this. Well, that's not what they exclusively do, but their
Hmm.
last game and their upcoming game is going to be like this. A kinetic novel.
Oh,
The
that's
one that's
great.
currently out is called The Cherry Orchard. It's like a short, very short game, maybe like an hour or two long. I don't even think it's that long. I don't
Hmm.
remember. But it's fully voice acted and it's kind of like this. You go through a story. And actually The Cherry Orchard is a rendition of a play by the same name.
Hmm.
She went the developer went and retranslated it. Well, with some help, because it's originally a Russian play, I think. She went and I think got it retranslated and picked out the translation she liked and things all that. And then got all the voice actors together, did it. It looks really cool because she has like a vaporwave aesthetic.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, what's up here? There's Ashley and Maddie. A few days later, 2 p.m., the terminal. All done. Looks pretty good. It's got the right number of legs and everything. And 50% less homicidal impulses, I think. We're still aiming for 100% less, right? Sure, I guess.
Hmm.
Well, it's a progress, I suppose. Maddie? Yeah? Why is the ground outside on fire? Oh.
Casual
I'm
Monday morning.
sorry? Well, the whole cafe is going to be blown to bits. Laser incoming. Oh, brother. Hey, is that... You ready? Yeah. Or something... wretched, isn't it? You know what this place needs, pal? Tell him. What? I actually don't know what this place needs. I was hoping I'd have thought of something by now. You guys done? I guess. Great. You better pick up that cigarette, Kishan. Well, I will. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. That was a cute tough guy act you two had going there. Yeah? Very convincing. Enforcers required to be imposing. It's in the job description. No, don't fire me. He's not going to fire you. He's just too much of a big softie for that. I'm not a softie. Sure you aren't. You're basically a giant teddy bear with a metal hat. Hey, hold on. You joined the council, Kishan? Yeah, actually. You're not going to tell her now, are you? Huh? I thought we were going to do a little build-up. Tell me what? Oh, too much pressure. Tell me, you weasel. Don't be rude. Necromancer baristas are required to be mean to council staff. It's in the job description. He's done a good thing for you, you ought to know. Oh, well, in that case... What's up, bud? Come on, I can't handle suspense. Well... Last night we ended up in the archives. The council archives. Ishan went in with a particular goal and dragged me along. Hey, you didn't protest that much. Anyway, you might want to sit down for this. Okay. Interesting. I managed to wipe your debt. Is this a bad practical joke? No, he's telling the truth. Turns out that there's some old bylaws that have loopholes and... Well, you're not going to believe this, but the council allows payment of debt in a bunch of weird ways. Yeah, we really ought to fix that. And one of those ways is the voluntary sacrifice of a soul. Wait, what? So I was able to sacrifice myself by joining the council and wipe your outstanding debts at the same time. Well, that's silly. Wait, who was saying that? Ashley or... No, I give up. Huh? So, you guys get to do as much human sacrifice as you like, but as soon as I'm doing it, I'm a menace and upsetting the natural order. Maddie? Yes, Nettie dearest? Pull your head in. Ahem. You're right, I apologize. Keyshawn, you didn't do this just for me, did you? Are you sure you're okay with this? No, I promise this is fine. I wanted to stay. I was too afraid to pass on. And I thought the council was interesting and I wanted to learn more about it. Ned might have talked me into it a little bit, but I absolutely promised that I didn't feel pressured into it. I made the decision on my own. I don't know what to say. Just consider it as me repaying the kindness that was shown when I walked in. I was really freaked out, and you helped me a lot with that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, we're gonna be okay? As long as you stay on the straight and narrow from now on, yes. Cool. Reckon you'll be able to do that, Maddie? Yeah. I'll do my best. No more illegal rituals. No more illegal rituals, promise. I'll stick to the legal stuff for as long as I can. I suppose that'll have to do. I understand that you're somewhat of a stuck record in this regard. I'm trying to make my peace with that. Oh, look at you two, making friends. Wholesome. Please, just try and keep your head down. I will, yeah. Gonna be hard to cause too much trouble if you keep raiding my suppliers anyway. Sorry, just doing my job. Yeah, I can't fault you for that. Anyhow, I'm afraid we're places to be. So soon? We only just got here. Told you, we're only popping in for 5 minutes. We've got paperwork to do. Responsibilities. Catch you two later. Thanks again. I appreciate it a lot. You're welcome. Anytime. Oh, that was nice.
That was cute.
So that's how they get around so quickly.
Magic.
Yeah. I love how as soon as they go away, my reminder came in to do a stretch break. So it was like, ba-da-bum. It's like, oh, they left with the power of Windows notification. I'm gonna have to scrub these off. Are we gonna do it now? No, I'll do it later. Right now, though, everything's pretty calm, so I was thinking we might close up early. Oh, did it kill someone? Dang it, what is it now? Oi! You better clean that up, you little monster. Is it trying to tell us something? What? Hey, watch it! Heck is happening? It's a plant? What's with the envelope? What's with the envelope? Sorry, I was using the wrong voice. Smells nice. What's the card say? It's... it's from Che. Oh, I love all those words. The time for regrets and apologies is long past. All we can do is look forward to the future with a smile on our faces. Don't obsess over what could have been, please. I know you're going to do great things, and you don't need my help for that. This is my last gift to you, my apprentice. You kept saying that you needed this, so I went out and got it. I think that even though some people claim to be ready for what lies next, everyone wants a little bit more time.
Bro.
Che.
Bro.
Hey, are you okay? That bastard couldn't resist playing one last joke on us, could he? I'm okay. Seriously, a pun, and I can't even give him a withering look in response. I mean, he was just coding you, wasn't he? Yes, he was. Let's hang this up. Aw. I know it's just 2 now, but I think he'll always be here in some form, right? I think so, yeah. We can't get rid of him that easily. Alright, let's close up. What are we gonna do? I was thinking of heading to the hardware store. Everyone keeps saying we need more plants in here. Why stop at 1? Achievement unlocked. Epilogue. No. I want to give them a hug.
I was gonna say something though. Talking about like dead bodies before. I
Beautiful
for reason,
segue.
I don't know why I remembered this like one video, because there's this like basically the video was like talking about this company that exists, but not in a bad way, just like it like an interview kind of thing. And there's this one company that is like, hey, wooden coffins take a lot of wood to make, and they don't really decompose in the best way, maybe, or they just take too long. Why don't we make coffins that dispose over time much better? And I don't know, like they're made of mushrooms or something, just like natural. And so there's this one company that does natural coffins like that they much more easily dispose. There you go. Fun fact for the day.
Interesting.
From what I remember, it maybe looked like if you have like an ice box, like from that white stuff. What is it called? Shit.
Mycelium? Milk?
Wait. Sometimes I just know words, but not in English. Fuck.
Did we watch the prologue?
Polyester. Right.
Polyester.
It's like. Is it an English word? Is it? Please tell me.
Polyester is an artificial plastic cloth material.
Is it?
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Fuck.
Did we see the prologue? I'm pretty sure we saw the prologue. I'm gonna quickly just like poke into it and make sure we saw the prologue. Because it has ... as its description. Because I was going to do the 2 side stories now, but like... Just making sure that this is exactly what I think it is. They thought of a faraway grave on the plain. They thought of a comrade who came not again. They lifted their glasses, and sadly they said, "We drink to the name of the mate who is dead." Yeah, I think... Yeah, we did see this. Okay. To the terminal. And then we can start the side stories.
Okay, so the coffins themselves are like made from like mushroom fiber,
Okay.
and they're like called living coffins.
Oh. So it's just a very fancy mushroom.
Base mushroom box where you put a body
This thing
instead
ain't
of a
about
normal wooden coffin. And like this stuff apparently is supposed to be used like when you are also like shipping packages. Like let's say you have something that you don't want to crack. This is the stuff you can use as like an alternative.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because I believe that it's the same company that does this, but basically
Oh,
they
let
have
me
a
out.
plastic sheet. They mold it around with like some heat, I suppose. They mold it around whatever object or product they get, and then they make the mushroom grow in a way that then is like that like grow into the mold, and then you have a perfect alternative to pack your packages in or like product in.
Interesting.
Yes.
Actually, I wonder, can we even see Maddie now that there's no more story to continue?
No more Maddie.
Did she get whisked away into the ether? Hold on. Searching for Maddie. Game room. Maddie? Are you here? Maddie? Maddie? Are you anywhere? Because, like, Keyshawn's here, and so is Ashley. Well, I guess Ned isn't here.
Break. She's on a pee break, probably.
Let's check the necromancy room.
Ah, of course.
Oh, what's this door? Not here. Nope, she just no longer exists. Oh well. Let's go back up and start. That was weird. Start the side stories.
Yay.
Let's do theirs first and stay unlocked first. Walking to the Sky. What an interesting name. I forgot their name, so oop.
Oopsie.
Oh, look at them. Hey, little guy, wanna play? Fetch.
What is it, a pet?
Maybe you'll have an easier time grabbing this. What else do we have here? He ran his hand along the shelf and found another he ran his hand along the shelf and found another object to throw. A flat, dull ring of metal. Catch. Ah, I got it! Aw. The bot took its prize and left. Oh, hey! She quickly broke eye contact and her eyes started scanning the floor as if she was looking for something. Tuan, not wanting to bother the girl, turned back to the shelf. She had clearly come upstairs for something and it wasn't conversation with him. Still, she seemed interrupting, and he kind of wanted to talk to her. But again, she wasn't taking the initiative, so neither was he. Her attention was directed towards the floor, not him. She was surprised. He was surprised to hear her voice again. I can read, I promise. Hey. Yeah? I was just wondering, did you happen to see a ring here? A ring? Like, oh, like a ring. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I took it off and left it here somewhere. No, I don't think I remember seeing a ring that looked like that. She hadn't actually described the ring to him, he realized. Are you sure? It's just a simple metal band, no fancy etching or anything. A metal band. Not like a Metallica kind of metal band, but you know, like a piece of jewelry. Juan suppressed an urge to get into a well-actually argument about heavy rock versus metal and which side of the divide Metallica fell on. You mean just a metal ring? Yeah, I'm looking for a metal ring that looks like a metal ring. Kind of like a washerite, but smooth? I guess? Juan's blood ran cold as he recalled the object he'd happily surrendered to the robot just a minute earlier. Oh, yeah, I think I saw something like that. There was a little bot up here playing with some metal objects just before. One of them looked kinda like a ring. Oh, great. Is it... Oh, you don't need to... It's no problem. I could swear it was right here. It wasn't. Sorry, I think I may have run off with it. Oh, you don't need to apologize. I mean, it's not like it was your fault, right? Yeah, haha. He mentally cringed at the way he said haha instead of laughing like a normal person. Well, thanks for checking. I'm going to see if I can find that bot. It's me. I'm sorry? I mean, it's me that's going to help you find that ring. Oh, that's not really necessary. Tuan couldn't tell whether she simply didn't want to impose or whether she really thought she didn't need his help. He decided to shoot his shot. I've got nothing better to do, and I know this place pretty well. You're new here, right? Let me lend you my limited knowledge of how this cafe is laid out. If it's not an imposition, I'm happy to help. To be honest, she was imposing a little bit. Then again, this situation was mostly his fault. Well, cool, I appreciate it. I don't think I got your name, by the way. I'm Tuan. I'm Hannah. Oops, I think I skipped ahead a little too early. Looking for a robot. Is he here? Is he there? Where could he be? He could be anywhere. He could be on the ceiling. No, he's probably on the ceiling, you know? Oh, he really just do be walking the whole mile. Does this animation end? I wonder if this animation actually ever ends.
It's holding up.
I'm curious, I'm gonna leave it.
It would be fun if you just had to like in the background.
This animation not actually end. Did he get stuck in the quantum infinite hallway? Whoops. Yeah, the cafe is not this big. Oh, this is beautiful. Anyways. Oh, there she is, following behind him. In the infinite hallway. Oh, it really isn't infinite. Oh wait, no, it's just really long. Hold on. I wonder if there is an end to this.
I swear to God.
Oh no, it just deloaded that, meaning it moved to the right. It's an infinite hallway. This is beautiful.
Not these again. My biggest enemy, an infinite hallway.
Yeah. So, does this ring of yours have any special significance? Special gift? Some kind of sentimental value? He hoped it wasn't. Oh, it's kind of a reminder of who I used to be. Back when I was going through my whole goth phase. I used to wear 10 rings every day, if you can believe it. Now I just have one. Hang on, goth face? Yeah, you know, goth rings. It didn't last though. Turns out going full goth is super expensive. Guess I was drawn to the idea back when I had a brief obsession with death. I also wrote a lot of pretty bad poetry. Pretty cringe, eh? It's not that cringe. Can't judge a person by their poetry. I was never a goth, but I've been to a few emo concerts in my time. Sure, but you can go to emo concerts, so I'm not sure you're a good judge of what's cringe or not. I mean, the lion's share of bad poetry is definitely written by a teenager. Speaking from experience, eh? You got any old Tumblr blogs? They just said Tumblr. You know what? Give them the advertisement, they need it. Blogs I can look up? I bet you reblogged some real deep MCR gift sets. Don't worry, I'm not actually going to try to find it. You got plenty of chances to embarrass yourself in real life. Keep the shameful posting hidden. Burn it if you must. I don't think it's a bad thing to have written bad poetry. The whole trying to find beauty in death thing feels pretty childish looking back. My emotions were turned up to 11 thanks to puberty. But I think there's more to it than that. I remember how it felt becoming an adult, but not being treated like one. Still sucks the kid-friendly version of life. If you live out in the suburbs, everything is so sanitized it feels faked. And teens run in the opposite direction of what's fake. We embrace the darkest thing we can find, which tends to be death. I guess as teenagers we don't usually have to confront death. Juan kept his voice low out of respect for the other patrons. He knew enough about the cafe to understand that not everyone was here to have a deep conversation about death. Oh, well, I guess he's aware at least. Maybe not most. I guess you could say I'm an exception. Oh? You want to ask a question, don't you? But you're not sure if you're allowed. That's a big assumption. Am I wrong? I'll take that as a yes. I'll take your continued silence as a further confirmation. Okay, you're not wrong. I just don't want to make you uncomfortable. Feelings mutual. You're not sure you're allowed to ask, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to tell. You're definitely allowed to tell. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound pushy. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. You don't have to treat it like a question that needs answering. Not a question, more an invitation. Alright. My mom was diagnosed with leukemia when I was 13. My father typically vanished as soon as he found out. I spent the next year dealing with crippling abandonment issues, not to mention the constant dread. Oh, there's an error in this dude's mouth.
It's fine.
There's more to the story Tuan could tell, but this was Hannah's story to share if she wanted. That's heavy. Thanks for trusting me with it. It was a dark time, but that stuff's all buried deep in the past now, never to be seen by anyone else ever again. Unless you count my old Tumblr, which I forgot the password to, so I guess that'll be out there for forever, a monument to my shame. I think you can send a takedown request. The site has to honor it. I send a message to the blog, and if it doesn't respond, away it goes. I wasn't really looking for a solution for that problem, but your advice sounds pretty useful, actually. I might give it a shot. I'm really good at offering unsolicited assistance. For example, one time this girl came looking at me for a missing ring, and I told her I'd help her to find it. Wow, cool. I hope the story ends with you actually helping her find it. Let's see, where did this all go? I don't actually remember how the story ended, but I think the big plot twist happened when he decided to study the bookshelf. Like the bookshelf we're standing in front of. Just so. Beautiful. Can we stop now? I appreciate the commitment to the bit, but the ring's not here. Bookshelves had a few nooks and crannies, and a bot could hide a ring in it. Are you sure it's okay to move the stuff around like that? It'll be fine as long as you don't sneeze. Is it really that fragile? Oh yes. The shoebox ROG is not a plane known for its sturdiness. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I caught that. What's this thing called? The shoebox ROG, short for Rise Off Ground. It's a classic capable of self-sustaining indoor flight for up to 40 seconds. Don't tell me you know every model on these shelves. Nope, just the balsa wood airplanes. Oh, neat.
You know stuff is getting good when this music starts playing.
Yeah.
This specific one, you know shit's gonna go well.
Yeah. When did you become such an expert? Summer camp? I guess preteen boys just find that stuff fascinating. I sure did, and I'll carry that obsession to the grave. And there I was, worried I'd missed out on something important by never going to summer camp. Actually, you kind of did. I'm sure the physics of a rubber band-powered airplane... No, I mean like the other stuff. Oof. I'm not a big fan of archery or netball either. You really think people remember summer camp because they got to play with bows and arrows? I always figured learning how to fish or shoot an arrow was meant to be some kind of delightful experience. Sadly, it's something I never got to enjoy. The bows and arrows are probably the least interesting part of the archery station. The fun part is going to the archery station during your free time and running into a friend and saying, "Hey, I haven't seen you since breakfast." Breakfast is a really important part of the summer camp experience, huh? Well, I guess it kinda is. We're all sharing breakfast at the same time in the same hall, you get to see everyone. I think I could have been inviting my friends to breakfast this whole time. If only we arranged to meet at an archery station. The arranging is the part that misses the magic. It's, you know, serendipity. That's the good bit. Right, so you go to summer camp to have serendipitous encounters with your friends. No, I didn't know anyone the first time I went. Then how did you serendipitously encounter all of these friends? You kinda just make friends while you're there. Sounds like hard work, starting from square one. Actually, it's not. Crammed all together at summer camp, you fall into friendships like it's natural. You meet loads of other kids, spend every waking moment with them, and then never see them again. And that's fun? Knowing that you lose those friends when you eventually leave? Yeah. When you only got a little time together, you really go all out making the most of that time. No, it doesn't look like the ring's here either. Good news is there's still plenty more ground to cover. That's good news? Prefer if our search radius were a bit smaller. It'd be worse if we didn't have more places to look, right? If it's not here, we need to keep digging around. You're the first person I've met who seems to see good in expiring relationships. I think part of me is afraid that all of mine are temporary. Oh. The opposite of that is much worse. For example, when someone new moves into your neighborhood, it's like, oh, we should have them for dinner sometime. Sometime it's meant to be next week, but then it turns into next month. And you keep putting it off until eventually you spent years living next door to people you know nothing about. There wasn't a sense of urgency to the relationship, so it never evolved past how do you do's, you know? Like those people in your life who are always there. You take it for granted that they'll never leave and forget to enjoy the moment you have together, and then you wake up and they're gone. The best friendship I ever had were the ones with a built-in expiration date. You've thought about this a lot. Yeah, I guess I have. Oh, your eyebrow has an alpha error inside it. My dude.
That's a design choice.
I'm sorry, I see the alpha errors. I feel them in my heart.
No, I get that.
Why is this music? Why?
Things are getting adventurous.
Wait, hold on. Is that why you enjoy going to emo concerts? Sounds like a great opportunity to make a friend, spend a few hours with them, and then never see them again. It was kind of a one-time thing, really. I usually listen to music when I'm on my own. I still have the Fall Out Boy album I listen to every night when I cried into my pillow. Year 8 sucked. Music was that bad, huh? The lyrics made me feel the pain and futility of my own existence. A lot of my early teenage years were filled with this sense that nothing meant anything. When I listened to that album, it felt like I was staring into the abyss. Music wasn't bad either. Oh good! Because taking shots at Fall Out Boys is fighting words. And I'm still wondering, like, did the album make you feel like heck? Why did you keep coming back to it? Oh, I actually enjoy burying my face in my pillowcase and loudly sobbing as I'm overwhelmed by a creeping feeling of existential angst. I get that some people enjoy a good cry from time to time, but I think you might enjoy existential angst a little too much. No, you misunderstand me. I said I enjoy burying my face in my pillowcase and loudly sobbing as I'm overwhelmed by a creeping feeling of existential angst. That's the name of that's the name of the third track on the album. I genuinely can't tell if you're lying or not. Lying or simply hecking. If I'm just trying to entertain, then it's not really lying. Maybe parody or satire or plain old storytelling. Satire doesn't work if it's a single show from the truth. That title isn't an obvious exaggeration. I'd expect that from them. Would have told you my favorite song of theirs was actually I'm Like a Lawyer, and with the way I'm always trying to get... Uh-oh. I'd assume you're trying to flirt with me because there's no way that's a real song. And you assume it's a flirting attempt, why? Well, it's suggestive. If I had to describe it in one word, I'd say it's... lewd. And if I told you my favorite Fall Out Boy song was Bang the Doldrums? Crude. I've got a dark alley and bad idea that says you should shut your mouth. Rude. The saint is saying it's an arms race? Feud. Our lawyers made us change the name of the song so we wouldn't get sued. Ah, objection.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, that was beautiful.
Yes.
Well, that's all there is to see of the mezzanine. No ring, no bot, so I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful. Don't be silly, you helped me check all the little nooks and crannies. And besides, you kept me company. Frustrated searching becomes a heck of a lot more enjoyable when you're hanging out with an alright guy. Huh, nice. Could be, yeah. That's a solid theory. You gonna come with, or are we done looking for now? What if we, and hear me out, what if we did not do that and just looked from up here instead? I've done enough walking for now. You wanna sit down? Nah, sitting's overrated. I'm really into leaning against things. It's the new hip thing. You're terrible. Yeah. This place is pretty cool. It's alright. Interesting crowd down there, all types. Which of course means we've got that one guy sporting the blazer hoodie combo. Like, hey, look at me, I'm so cool, but I'm also super chill. Ah, you're one of those guys, huh? Oh, I'm sorry, did I just dunk on your fashion paramour? Nah, those kinds of guys can be real douchebags. But what if he wasn't? He wouldn't be wearing the blazer hoodie combo? Oh no, the blazer hoodie combo is something that he has a deep sentimental attachment to. His father left him when he was young, leaving him only his grandfather to look up to as a father figure. When his grandfather tragically passed away, Blazer Hoodie's older brother took that place. He loved his older brother, who ran a track and was the coolest jock in town. The blazer was all he had left of his grandfather, and the hoodie was his brother's last gift before heading interstate for university. But his brother was killed in a sudden car compactor accident that winter, and he never came home from uni. So whenever the boy finds himself feeling lonely, he puts on his grandpa's blazer and his brother's hoodie, so he has those to drink to their memory. Have you been waiting to use that this whole time? Nah, I just like to think about people's inner lives. It's what I do in the tram. When everyone else is buried in their phones, I'm people watching. Dang. The only way I can get myself out of the house is by telling myself, nobody's watching, nobody cares. They're all in their own little worlds. And you have ruined my day in Brigand. I'll never walk free again. They don't see you. They see whatever they want to project onto you. That guy down there? Maybe he is just a douchebag. All we have are our theories, and those reveal more about us than anyone else, don't you think? I've never thought a day in my life, and I don't intend to start now. Ah, beautiful. Clearly. Look, it's easy to play on stereotypes saying that guy just is like a, you know. But where's the fun in that? People aren't always what they seem. I like coming up with dark and macabre stories, just the worst stuff. Darker than the one you just told? Yeah, but don't worry about it. Come on, you wanna? No, I'm not gonna to. Sorry, it's one of my rules. Some people find healing in sharing dark thoughts, but I don't think I'm great at gauging what's good for me when sharing. I end up oversharing and then I spiral and I'm in a dark base. I can read. So, no stories for tonight. Are you wondering if you're allowed to tell? Because I think you're at the point where you shouldn't have to wait for me to ask. My rule isn't to protect the audience, it's to protect me. And buddy, we're still at the point where there are still questions I'm not gonna answer. This doesn't mean I'm bothered by you asking. I mean, there are always going to be topics that aren't on the table. But you won't know until you ask. That's a good way to look at it. And here I was worried I'd ruin the mood. I've never shied from a somber mood. A mood getting dark and serious doesn't mean it's ruined. After all, some people like it dark. Yourself included. Hey, you can't have light without darkness, right? Sounds like a Fall Out Boy lyric to me. Good thinking, though. That's why I start every day with my hands in the toaster. The rest of the day feels amazing after that. When did he get over there? I grew up north of Brisbane. Do you know what the weather is like there? Nope, but I do know that I like talking about the weather to get away from unpleasant topics. Checkers, 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 physics, physics. That's a lot of physics and checkers. It's downright tropical. Not bad day in sight. Good weather all year round. Stormy days don't exist for the purposes of this conversation. But someday it'd be bloody gorgeous out and I'd go for a walk and see nobody. Just a total ghost town. Sounds like a lame place to live. Yeah, kinda. Thing is, without bad weather, there are no good days. Every day is the same. It's boring. But here in Melbourne, nobody squanders a good day. After winter, we're clawing at the walls for a hint of sunshine. How many checkerboards do you want? And that's your case for dark and melancholy conversations? I mean, if everything's at a 10, it might as well be at a 1. There's no scale. I think it'd be perfectly fine if I only saw the happy parts. It's a contradiction, isn't it? The people most obsessed with finding happiness always seem to be the most unhappy. Well, duh. They're so obsessed with pursuing happiness because they themselves don't have it. The opposite of happy isn't sad. I think it's emptiness, or a general lack of feeling. You know, comfortable numb. Like, clinical depression isn't just about being miserable all the time. You're not in a constant state of sadness, more like a constant state of nothing. He's not wrong. Speaking from experience? That's a personal question. And I was hoping for a personal answer. You don't get to wax philosophical about your emotions and suddenly clam up when I'm the one asking you about them. A medical condition goes a little beyond the realm of talking about emotions. Let's say that I am no longer medicated for clinical depression. No longer as in you were at one point. Yeah, that was an extremely subtle implication. Great. Let's dance around the subject. I love that. Why make it easy? You really love talking, huh? Is that a complaint? Not at all. It's just, you don't come across as quite as so outgoing. I wasn't always. What you're seeing are the results of an extensive self-inflicted deprogramming effort. That's funny. I guess I can kind of see it, but I didn't want to assume given that you're... It's okay, you can say Asian. If you're trying to deduce my childhood based on stereotypes of second-generation Asian kids, you're not far off. Growing up in a household where being well-behaved was synonymous with being quiet and out of the way, you tend to end up pretty meek. Interesting. Huh. When you talked about Asian parents, I was thinking more about, like, academic achievement. Oh, you're not there. You're not there either. Like many immigrant parents, they want their son to be more successful than they are. But my mother was an MD and my father was an OD, and I'm still not quite sure what's supposed to be another level above that. Oof, sorry about your dad. No, doctor of optometry. It was a big disappointment to my mother's parents when we were hoping their daughter would go for an ophthalmologist instead. I'm sorry? Wow, that's embarrassing. I know, it sounds like I'm joking, but my family's the strictest of the strict. Like, graduate second in your class and have your mother tell you at graduation that you could have been first if you'd hit the books a bit harder level strict. Dang, walking talking stereotypes, how dare they? My mom never dropped that heck on me. On our drives to her chemotherapy. Oof. Oof. I can't beat that. What? What? You mean you don't want to spend the day dwelling on the worst moments of your life? Come on, dredging up childhood traumas is everyone's favorite hobby. With your sense of the macabre. Usually I have to pay to dredge up my childhood traumas from someone. Alright, I accept a cash card and signed photos of Brendan Urie. Alternatively, we can just talk about happy things instead. How do you like cats? All cats are... Aww. Bad. I banish you to the Shadow Realm. I banish you to the Shadow Realm as well! So much for happy thoughts. But they are happy thoughts. Cats may hate me and I may hate them, but I like looking at them. That's probably my spiciest steak. Tuan was enjoying the easy rapport he found with Hannah, something rare and precious. But with that thought came the sudden sense of panic at the idea of losing this feeling, of losing... Okay. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Felt a bit uneasy on my feet there for a second. The place that kinda does a number on you. You can say that again. This place kinda doesn't number on you. It was a lie. The anxiety in his chest, clawing at his lungs, wasn't an affliction brought on by the presence in the cafe. His fear of loss made him just like the rest of the patrons. I'm sorry, I wasted so much of your time. What? You don't have to apologize for that. If you're spending my time, then I guess I'm spending yours too. And for a moment the two said nothing, simply enjoying each other's company. Hey, are you... Shh. Can you hear it? Hear it? Oh, there him is. Is this your ring? That's the one. Great, guess we're done here then. Yeah, great. I'll see you around. Sure, see you around. Y'all, do you not have, like, phones? Be like, hey, maybe, you know?
They have magical portals, but phones, please.
Yeah, but these two are mortals.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Juan watched her go, regretting how quickly he dismissed her. His mind raced, searching for an excuse to call her back and continue the conversation. Was he meant to yell something like, hey, you've got spaghetti on your sweater? With every step she took, the warmth in him faded until she was gone and he was left empty and cold. Dang it. So, was that the whole side story?
Maybe.
Was it? Game? Okay, good. There's more. Tuan loved darts. People were hard to understand, but dartboard was simple. Circles, squares, and a sharp little missile thrown barehanded by him, a self-proclaimed dartist. He'd honed his skills on school nights while his parents were too engrossed in their work to pay attention to him. RIP. It was a relatively quiet game when played skillfully, so it never made enough sound to draw their ire. What had started as distraction was now a secret love. Secret because what self-respecting teenager played darts? But he was not a self-respecting teenager. Not in the slightest. Yo! Hey, I haven't seen you since breakfast. Oh, hey. You know, that would only make sense if we'd actually had breakfast together, right? Shut up! You seem kinda chain-smoking darts hustler? I wish. So you're not going to teach me how to play? Nah, I'm really not any good. Dude, you just hit 2 bullseyes in a row. Yeah, that's the problem. Each segment of the board is worth a different number of points. You start with a fixed number of points, usually 501 or 301, then you throw darts and deduct the amount from your number. The trick is... Wow, all my interest is gone, instantly. How'd you get so good at that? Practice. That's the full extent of my darts knowledge anyway, so you're not missing out on anything. And besides, there are far more interesting things around here than this dartboard. More interesting than dartboard? This day just gets better and better. Then follow me. Where are we off to? What is it they say? Show don't tell? Oh, well, he stabbed us. So how do people get here? Where are you off to? This isn't our final destination. I have something cooler to show you. If you're talking what's at the end of the catwalk, I've been there before. I came in that way, actually. The catwalks aren't interesting. Then where are you going? Going down.
He did.
You think you're funny, often. But you know when you just want to eject yourself from a conversation? When you find yourself in a social situation you can't wait to get out of? Wow, rude! No, I never get the chance to make these big grand exits that I'm always dreaming about. Sometimes you gotta just seize at the moment or whatever. You rather make a dramatic exit than keep talking? I allow myself to do it sometimes as a treat. So what? Making a grand exit wasn't the only reason I jumped down here. Oh, so that stunt wasn't the main attraction. You wanted something interesting, I'm just trying to deliver. Oh. You can jump down. I don't have the feet of an athlete. Bend your knees when you land, it'll soften the landing. The impact force will travel from your feet through to your hip bone. You're real eloquent when you've got a captive audience, aren't you? Yes, young cricket, don't lock your knees. The more you say, the less inclination I have to listen. You talk in paragraphs, my dude. Whatever. Hup! My method works. Oh, look at him! I love him! Oh, what's this little guy doing here? These are the little wait bots they make up for the lack of employees in the cafe. They're all different. I love it. Do you think it climbed down here on its own? It's not outside the realm of possibility. I wouldn't bother it. Try and stop me. Poke. You probably shouldn't mess with it. You sure? Someone probably left it here for a reason, and now they're going to come looking for it and find out that someone booped it. How would you feel if you were booped by a giant fleshy creature? What? I'm just saying, this is a weird spot to find a robot. It might have been put here to do a specific job. I think it's bored. Can we take it with us? I really think we shouldn't. She's not impressed. Fine. Is this what you wanted to show me? Nah, this is still the journey. Oh, cool. We'll get there soon enough. Is it safe for us to be down here? Does it matter? We're young, indestructible. What, because we're young we have to take risks? If the danger exists, I simply close my eyes and pretend not to see it. But for real though, I don't think there's anything down here that hasn't already been stripped for parts. We probably won't run into a giant shredder or anything. Or be crushed by giant bouncing logs. If I see one coming, I'll pretend that I don't, so you can enjoy the surprise. You're so thoughtful, come on. Last one there's a rotten egg. You don't even know where we're going. Watch your step, you don't want to trip. Didn't you just say something about ignoring danger? I mean, I'm not an idiot. Could have fooled me. Rude. Actually, given the amount of jagged, rusty metal I'm seeing around here, we should probably be at least a little careful. Hannah? Oh, jeez. What are you doing up there? Be careful. Looks safe to me. You never know what could be unstable ready to collapse. Just look in the mirror for that. Oh. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess. Okay, but for real. Why'd you bring me here if you were just going to chaperone me to death? We're not at our final destination yet. Oh, then what are we hanging around here for? So she is going to break something. So what's dangerous around here? Jagged, rusty metal, tetanus probably. It's not going to poke through your shoes, hopefully, but try not to land on it with your face. Noted. Am I being too much? I should note at this point that I'm very bad at evaluating risk. Wow, really? I shouldn't have followed you down here. I'm going to have double tetanus by the time we leave. Not aiming for triple tetanus? I try to keep my expectations modest. So this is it? Yeah, this is it. What am I looking at? Bum 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 bum.
Mr. Sandman,
Da, da,
many a
da, da.
sand, make him the cutest. Car door hook man. Bum 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 bum.
Beautiful.
I know. Thank you.
Ooh. If this is meant to be more interesting, I have bad news for you. This hallway tells its own story. Well, it's too dark to read. There's just nothing happening here. Why hasn't anyone taken the time to make this place nicer? Maybe the interior designer was into rustic industrial. There's no accounting for taste. What a cop-out. There's no accounting for taste. Hey, the human mind is complex. How am I supposed to know? The human mind is complex. Okay, Einstein. Well, actually, Einstein was primarily a physicist, not a neuroscientist. Wow, you must kill at parties. Yeah, chicks dig me. I guess I can see it. He had a thought. Careful, don't hurt yourself. Careful, don't hurt yourself. Do I look like someone who's worried about hurting himself? You're looking more like one of those tour guides who has to walk backwards everywhere. You're not known for being prone. They're not known for being prone to accidents, are they? Hey, you never know. I had this friend who was touring uni campuses. His guide was so distracted by walking talk that he toppled right into a fountain, and what's more... Oh, little dude. Where did you come from? Don't say you told me so. I shouldn't laugh, but well, here I am, laughing at you. Great job, little buddy. Can I pet this one? Yeah, I guess. Oh? Hiya! What are you doing? Why did you do that? Why did I do what? Tell me it was okay to pet him. Thought you wanted to pet him. Oh. Hold on. Yeah, I wanted to, but I wasn't asking for your permission. You just seemed really bothered when I said not to touch them. The other time I meant... I don't need your permission. I was asking your opinion. You know, since you seem to be such an expert in this place. Like, hey, any risk associated with what I'm about to do, help me make an informed decision. So imagine my utter shock when I actually listen to you for once and literally get bitten for my troubles. I'm sorry. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. I didn't want to disappoint you by saying it would be a bad idea. Stop being coward. Tell me what you think, not what you think I want to hear. I'm sorry. You're forgiven. But that little milk bottle isn't pinching. Hey, that little milk bottle tripped me first. Yeah, and it was hilarious. Well, I hope you've at least learned the dangers of backwards walking and talking. I have, but how about you? Definitely not. Ladies and Hannah. Ladies, separately, Hannah. We've reached the final stop of this nondescript hallway. You're really going to keep saying nondescript, Mr. Doesn't Own a Thesaurus? Dull, sterile, boring, boom. There's no better adjective than my nondescript opinion. Ever read any Lovecraft? Half his monsters were so scary that his narrators couldn't describe them. He really took the easy route with that one. Who did? Lovecraft. Wait, that was his real name? Yeah. No wonder he was like that. What else would a guy with that name be known for? Crafting? Love? You got me. So they enter this place. Isn't this just the basement? They emerge into a storeroom shelf stacked with dusty jars full of mysterious glowing liquids. Hannah wondered briefly if any of their contents were edible. Of course he would. This looks safe. Oh, why are these all the way out here? Try reading the labels. I can't read whatever language that is. It's Latin. Casual flex there, smarty pants. I have an ad hoc understanding of Latin words, phrases, etc. I'm going to kick your behind. And you would be well justified in doing so. How long were you holding into that hilarious Latin joke for? Since I read it on the internet. I wanted to understand the lyrics of One-Winged Angel, so I was doing a bit of research. Latin nerds love their wordplay. Can you actually read any of these labels? None of them say Sephiroth, so no. All I can tell you is that if you see Memento Mori, you probably shouldn't drink it. Is that the Latin word for poison? Remember your mortality. Oh, I'm very aware of my mortality, thanks. So why the obsession with this one particular song? It's from a video game. When you play with your friends? Nah, single player. I'm not good at connecting with my peers. I thought you were connecting pretty well. You think we're peers? Because it appears you're out of my league. Aw, shucks. It's true. 3 cheers for low standards. Anna's eyes sparkled when she laughed, and for once, Tuan struggled to feel anything but warm. Yo, check out that one! Oh? I told you already, I can't read. Yeah, but look at it. It looks like there's something trapped inside. Creepy. Should we do something about it? Why are you asking me? Whatever in it wants to get out. I'm not sure it's a good idea to mess with this stuff. What if it's a genie or something? Oh no, is that the sound of impending litigation? I guess I can't stop you either way. Oh. Thank you. A warm glow suffused them both, then in a heartbeat it was gone. Did you hear that? I think so. Do you think we did something we shouldn't have? We, 2 hands touched the jar and they were both yours. You were at least an accomplice. I get the feeling we unleashed something. I get that impression as well. Was it a mistake? I was going to shatter on the ground anyway. I don't really think we changed the outcome of the situation. Well, even if we did set an evil spirit free, I'm glad we came here. I'm glad we came here too. You ever get that feeling you've already committed to a decision, but you're not yet sure if it'll lead to something great or something painful? Are we still talking about the jar? Yes, definitely. Let's get a move on. Sure, our final destination's right through here. Oh. How long did they walk? Tuan's heartbeat thundered in his ears. Afraid of heights? I think it's perfectly naturally to be a bit spooked when confronted with something that could be lethal. Lethal? Sorry? Nothing to be afraid of. Scared me for a sec there, hotshot. Oh yeah? He felt an absence when she withdrew her hand. And I thought to myself, I hope he's falling for me. This isn't exactly what I had in mind. But like, that doesn't seem pleasant. The fall, I mean. Why jump if you don't have to? The gut-wrenching fear only lasts a few seconds. You get used to it. I can only imagine. What I want to know is why you felt compelled to do it in the first place. I just wanted to feel something. Sometimes horror movies just aren't enough. I get it. Yeah, it's just, you know, like I said earlier, better to feel something than nothing sometimes. Is that downtown? I think so. But I don't really catch the train into town that often. I don't recognize anything specific, but the Yara's there, so the rest of the city must be too. Reckon anyone can see us from down there? Don't know. The city looks so different from up here. Yeah. It feels lived in. Most cities do. That's why they're cities. Most people live there. But some cities just seem sterile, you know? Housing estates and golf courses and toll roads on a grid. Everyone commuting to their office job in a skyscraper that's the same as all the other ones. This one's pretty to look at. Is it safe to sit there? Look, if I can step off this platform, it would be crazy for me to be shy about letting my legs dangle over the edge. Sitting here like this reminded Tuan of being 7 and swinging his legs staringly over a balcony edge with his friend. They got yelled at for it because it was dangerous, but the association stuck. It had been a long time since he'd felt so carefree. At a glance, Melbourne's sprawls seemed vivid and meticulously detailed, but the more he tried to pick out individual features, the more his vision blurred. From up here, everything ran together like unmixed paint. Everything was just an indistinct part of a larger whole. I thought I'd be able to see my house from here, but I can't. Actually, I can't recognize anything. I know it's Melbourne, but it feels like a dream. Do you think we're dreaming? I think I might be. You could be a figment of my imagination. Ah, I was thinking it was the other way around. I suppose it's all about perspective. Considering how many dreams end with the sensation of falling, this is certainly an appropriate place for it to end. I don't really want it to. Me neither. Oh, they're adorable.
They are.
If you just brought me here for us to stare longingly into each other's eyes, we could have stayed down in the cafe. I'm just enjoying the view. Very funny. So when are we going to hurry up and make a move? What took you so long? Far easier to say something clever than to say something sincere. Nah. Oh? I lied to you earlier. About what? Remember when I told you about my mom's leukemia diagnosis? How I was 13 years old and my dad left us because of it? Yeah, I remember. It wasn't the whole truth. She wasn't the one who got the diagnosis. Oh. This hair isn't mine. 6 months of chemo wasn't kind to me. I felt like a fraud every time I wore someone else's hair, so I bought this from a costume shop. If I was going to lie to the world about having hair, it might as well be something dazzling. Can you say something, please? I guess it's not a surprise. You only make fun of people when it's trivial stuff. When you started cracking wise about cancer, I started getting the inkling that it wasn't about someone... else. That obvious, huh? Not at first, but I feel like I've gotten to know you well enough by now. You interrupted something? Yeah, I was going to. I know. You still want to, Sorry, mood's dead. My fault. Need to reset the scene. How about we go for a walk? I think that'd help. As the last vestiges of the terminal faded into the distance, Tuan realized they were entering a world of their own construction. There were no rules here. They were well and truly free from everything else. He didn't know what they were walking towards, but in the end, did it really even matter? Interesting. For a fleeting moment, Tuan felt oddly at peace despite everything. Hannah had trusted him with her true self, but with affirmation came fear. Fear of what came next, of the moment after that, and the one after that. He closed his eyes, suddenly finding it hard to breathe. An essential touch on his back pulled him back into reality. Are you okay? I'm fine. It's just an anxiety attack, don't worry about me. Just? Was it the height from sitting on the edge? No, they never happen when I'm there, never. It's only when everything's fine, when everything's safe. Because when everything's good, I know it only takes one bad moment to bring the whole house of cards crashing down. Was it what I said before? Not what you said, what I didn't say. What didn't you say? I knew. I know cosplayers I can recognize a good wig. You knew? Yeah. I wouldn't have had the courage to keep talking to you otherwise. The best friendships I never had were the ones with a built-in expiration date. Yeah. Okay. I think I get it now. All Tuan saw in her eyes was betrayal. Oh. Oh no. Is that what I am to you? A girl with an expiration date? It's not you, it's me. I'm so used to people being transient in my life, it wasn't so scary to talk to you if... I'm sorry, I brought you here because I wanted to feel normal for just one night. I wanted that too. To leave everything behind and feel normal, even if only for a few hours. And I did. Thank you. Anna. Juan felt them teetering on the brink of something. What was she feeling? The same dread, the same longing? Tuan felt Hannah shaking in his arms, hot tears soaking through the fabric of his shirt. But not just her tears, he realized he was crying with her. Tuan wished the train would pull up to the platform and twist him away so they'd never have to return home. He knew Hannah felt the same, but that's not how life worked. Are you ready? As long as it's with you. Just don't let go. Hannah's finger dug into his skin in the first terrifying seconds. He couldn't blame her. Upside down, falling like a rock towards the center of Melbourne, Tuan saw something new in Hannah's eyes. It seemed as though the wind had stolen their words, leaving only silence. They walked in lockstep, each dragging their feet. I don't think we can walk any slower. Oop. Try me. I can do this all day. They came out tonight looking for something very specific. Yeah. I'm not sure that's me. I think I might be. But if it's not, I guess I'm okay with that too. I have mixed feelings about this. I have no idea what to just leave it there. That's where I'll leave the thought. How are you holding up, Madam Kitty?
Me?
Yes.
Uh, the main reason I am not doing well is because in less than technically in like less than 11 hours, I'm redoing the second exam out of the two
Oh.
exams I'm having to redo.
Oh gosh.
And this one is like even more difficult on another level, and I'm much less prepared than for the first redo, which I did pass. But now it's like I have to speak and I have to talk
Oh.
about art history. And the thing is, how these exams work in our school is that we pick a number from 1 to 20, like from a bowl or something. And then this one number represents like a whole culture and art pieces and artists and all that. And from a
Uh,
presentation, you have to like remember the information and talk about this shit. And if you can't think of it, you have to try and describe it from like the pictures and all that. And I'm scared. I'm
oh.
scared. I want to do it, but I just don't think I can. Like, of course I will go there, but it's just it's a mess, and that's why I'm a mess. But me being here, it's a nice company. It's a nice company. I am
Yay.
happy for that.
Oh. Oh, I'm glad I could help ease your time just a tiny bit.
A bit, yes, 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 yes.
Hmm.
It's
'Cause
nice. Thank you.
yeah, that sounds stressful.
It is. I mean, the presentations themselves in like the every single number like has a number of presentations, which I mean, to be fair, most of the presentations with the information itself, not for like the testing, are
Hmm.
made in a way that you have like a picture, one picture for example, over the like half of the page, and
Hmm.
then for example you have some information. That's usually how most of the slides are done. So
Ah.
yeah, that's like that's fine. But the presentations there is usually at like at least two, but they are like over 100 slides.
Oh god.
So you have to remember for each period maybe like 10 artists technically at least. Then like maybe like the paintings or statues or whatever heck they were doing. It's fun.
That is terrifying.
and and the most fun part is that
What?
it's that basically there's this like because like how the all the exams are done, like the speaking ones are done in a way that you have this like schedule
Hmm.
and it's like done in Excel whatever, and basically uh like yeah, there's a written down schedule and you can always see that in the room where the person is tested there's always one person speaking and one person getting ready yet for the speaking, and you can
Oh.
and like the schedule has the people's names of course, and of course there's me, and you can
Ah.
see that like pretty much everyone on the list have at least those people have to at least redo the art history exam.
Oh
Some people have on
no.
things on top of that, but uh, like pretty much if not 80%, maybe like 90% of everything is just the art history redo.
Yeah, so I think I've told you before, but in my high school, art history was like the most intensive course in terms of studying.
It's a lot. It's a lot. You really have to spend a lot of time on it. It can be like learned, not like of all the info, of course, but it can be learned. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get that. It is one of the most intense classes I have been taking, and I had to.
yeah. Well, keeping that in mind, it's a pretty
Yes, I am
hard
sorry.
class. So
Yes.
what
Yeah, yeah.
happens happens. You've done your best up to this point. You just go and do it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The problem was that the last time I was thinking that I wouldn't pick a period that I liked, at least like from just how it looks like. And the
Hmm.
problem is I exactly picked something that I thought I would not pick. So
Oof.
so that's why I messed that one up.
Alas.
Oh.
Oh well.
Yes, I'm sorry. Too
No,
much
no
talking.
worries. I
Too much
asked.
depressive shit.
Let's get back to these two people.
Yes, I'm sorry, but yes, let's
Yeah,
do
no, no
this.
worries. At first glance, Tuan thought the shells of jars were just thrown together afterthoughts, nothing more than a forgotten mess. But now he realized that each jar seemed perfectly created for its contents, as if they were made for each other. Hannah seemed far away, perhaps also thinking of the jars, or perhaps of something else entirely. You think I'm carrying around a lot of pain, don't you? Hard not to after all this. But it's not you. I've been thinking about myself. Oh. Aw. I assumed you were carrying a lot of pain, not because you did anything to make me think that. It's just easier to cope when I assume everyone else is going through the same stuff as I am. That said, I reckon I figured something out about you. You like me. No way, I thought this hand-holding business was strictly platonic. I want my money back. I just gave you a new piece of information, you dingus. What, did you expect me to do some flowery I like you anyway speech? Because that's not really my thing. You got a baggage. That's part of who I am. You don't get to pick and choose, and that's okay. I like you. I like all of you, Hannah. Every little thing that's ever happened to you has shaped you into the person standing next to me, and I really, really like that person. You're right, I don't get to pick and choose. So when I say I like all of you, I want you to know that I mean it. You're not the first person who's ever told me something like that before, but you're the first person I've believed. The worst way to lie to someone is to tell them what you think they want to hear. Yeah, you get it. There they go. Down this
Yay.
probably infinite hallway. Adorable.
Why is it always infinite space in here? Ah.
Look, it's haunted by the ghosts. You're asking questions you're not ready to hear the answer to. Oh, pretty. I love how the tree inside is just like, I'm coming to get you. You can see me forever. Are you ready to do this? I'm as ready as long as you're doing it with me. Then don't let go. Tuan waited for the moment he knew it was coming, for Hannah's form to fade, as all spirits did upon leaving the terminal. Aw. But the moment never came, and there she was on the other side, her warm fingers intertwined with his. Are you? I'm still here. I go in for my last round of chemo tomorrow. So are you going to hurry up and kiss me already? She's alive. This is adorable.
I, best game ever. If a
Yeah.
game includes an adorable kiss, yes. When best game. That's
Indeed.
best game of 2022.
Actually, I don't.
Well,
I know this game's like ancient. Like, how ancient is this game? Well, not
how old is
ancient
it
as other
actually?
games I've played.
Is it how old is it
It's like
actually?
not ancient. It's actually, hold on, let me see. Okay, so no, I thought it was a lot older than it actually is. It's 2022. I mean 2020. 2020.
Best game
July
of
2020.
2020. Yeah, changed
Yep.
my mind.
Um, I am going to be right back.
Yeah.
Uh, I need water.
Oh
So
my god.
give me a moment. Oh,
Of course.
also on that note, I have been thinking, and I think I am just going to only have pre-roll ads and not actually run any ads during the stream, because I forget to do it 99% of the time anyways.
Hmm.
And, you know, I feel bad about it every single time. So, on that note, I'll be right back.
You do that.
I have the returning.
Welcome back.
Oh, woo.
Did you
So,
get water?
yes, I did get water.
Nice.
It looks like we have one more side story. And let me tell you, that last one was an hour long on its own.
Oh shit.
Oh boy, hopefully my voice can last long enough. Well, time for these two. I don't heckin' know what voice I used for her. Oh, I just noticed you sent a picture of the thing. That's
Yeah.
interesting. I hate this job. Kiyoshi was angry. Samantha always found it Kiyoshi was angry. Samantha always found it difficult to see him like this. She felt his anger and his pain as if it were her own. They shared the hurt, a bond exclusive to them. But anger was also a form of passion, and Samantha considered Kiyoshi's passion one of his most admirable qualities. You know, I hate it here too, but I can't walk away from this job. Neither of us can. You know, the stress is going to kill us one of these days. Stress won't be the thing that kills us. Don't say that. You're right, I'm sorry. I love you. I love you too. Stay safe. Samantha sat alone, nursing a glass of gin. The terminal had a warm atmosphere, a far cry from the immaculate, glitzy pubholic, where she spent just shy of 6 months as a cocktail waitress. Why am I still reading that in an accent? No one's talking. In fact, there was almost nothing in this cafe reminiscent of pubholic, which made it a perfect place to brood, with precious few reminders of her previous gig. There were, of course, the smells. She got lingering scents as she leaned upon the spirit-stained bar, each one like a stain upon her own memory, a scar that would never heal. Not that she hadn't been left scarred by other jobs, but she resented the invisible stains left on her psyche by pubholic, the kind she couldn't hide with concealer and long sleeves. Still, there were a few pleasant memories buried beneath the pain, memories of him. You want me to just leave the bottle here? No, I need to feel that tiny bit of shame when I ask for a refill. No shame in it. Well, there ought to be. Because without it, I'd hit the bottom of that bottle pretty fast. Well, want me to stop you? Otherwise you'll lose that shame soon enough. I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. Samantha liked Maddie. Part of it was the natural kinship she had come to feel for anyone whose profession involved pouring a drink. But Samantha has also appreciated Maddie's extremely high level of disinterest in what was going on around her. She could tell from Maddie's eyes that she wasn't all there. Her attention was split between her patrons and some problems she was puzzling together in her head. In Samantha's opinion, patrons always got more attention than they deserved, and it seemed that Maddie agreed. They were perfectly content in their own solitude. Samantha, is that you? Whomst? Samantha, I'd like to talk to you. Actually, this concerns the other girls, too. Call them over, won't you? Nakamoto made the suggestion as if it had just occurred to him, but it was clear he didn't intend this to be a private conversation. The other servers were within earshot, close enough to hear Nakamoto's request. But he clearly wanted Samantha to beckon them over. He indulged him with the ritual of clapping her hands and calling out, Clara, Iris, Michelle, business time. Oh, love that generic model stand-in. As Samantha looked across the table at Nakamoto, she realized that she stood between Nakamoto and the other girls like a protector, a shield. The role fitted her fine, and other girls seemed grateful for it, but Samantha couldn't help but feel that this was exactly what Nakamoto wanted. Though he was one man facing 4 women, it felt like Samantha that their number were evenly matched. The women standing behind Samantha were not participants, they were mere bystanders. He evidently derived a lot of satisfaction from the fact he never had to raise his voice. He had his subordinates to do that for him. Exemplary work tonight. Mr. Canavan was very impressed. You girls did your job with precision and respect. I would expect nothing less. That deserves a bonus, don't you think? He reached into his breast pocket and pulled out 4 10,000 yen notes, fanning the bills out in an ashtray in front of him. There was only one problem. At the end of the meal, Mr. Canavan suggested that Clara give him a kiss. He got the impression she didn't enjoy it too much. Her reaction soured the mood. Perhaps it's not her fault, but we are in the service industry. Our one job is to make clients happy. Samantha locked eyes with Nakamoto, willing him to concentrate his wrath entirely on her, away from the younger, inexperienced girl behind her. Based on that, do you think she should receive the 10,000 yen bonus? Samantha's heart broke for Clara, that she would be complicit in Nakamoto's humiliation for her filled with guilt, but she kept a steely expression. As much as it bothered her to capitulate, Samantha knew that fighting with Nakamoto would only humiliate Clara further, so she gave the answer he wanted. No, she shouldn't receive the bonus. She knew how Nakamoto's little rituals worked, and she wasn't going to rock the boat. That could only make it worse for all of them. Is that so? Well, Samantha, if that's what you believe. Samantha watched Nakamoto set the edge of one of the bills alight. The fire rapidly spread until all 4 bills were engulfed. Samantha watched Nakamoto's smiling face through the dancing flames. This was a genuine smile. This was the part he enjoyed. My, what a terrible accident. You see, I only lit Clara's bill, but now everything has been reduced to ash. It's like service, you see? The rest of you provided perfect service for the entirety of the night, but it takes only one small mistake to ruin the entire experience for the client. What one of you does reflects on all of you and this entire organization. This deserves punishment, don't you think? Then punish me. I was in charge of planning the event. Any shortcomings during the event are a reflection of my leadership, and I take full responsibility. Samantha steeled herself for the slap. She knew was coming. She would not flinch. But the slap never came. It took all of Samantha's willpower to not shudder at his caress. The slap would have hurt less to endure. You're right. You should take responsibility. Punish her. Clara looked at Samantha's eyes, wet with unshed tears. Samantha's expression softened, and she tried to convey all the sympathy and compassion she could as she mouthed the words. I'm sorry. It's okay. Yikes. I hate that. I hate everything about that. Mr. Nakamoto. I'm surprised to see you here. Shall I, What can I get for you? Who knows what I drink? You'll have a Manhattan. Do you have Abbott's? Course. This is kind of a long shot, but do you have Hibiki? I reckon so, yeah. Let me go back in the check. Thanks, cutie. Charming girl. Nakamoto had a habit of describing people as he wanted them to be, rather than as they were. As if he thought calling a server charming were enough to make her want to live up to the description. Charming, but definitely not your type. How would you know? One thing, she's not subservient enough for your tastes. Unlike you, Samantha? I'm surprised you remember my name. You wound me. I know I always liked all of the girls at the bar. Yes, you liked us all so much you gave us the same pet name. I always figured honey was just a more affectionate way of saying, hey you. Hayo, as in, hey you over there. Ah. Maybe you are right. But you were always my favorite, Samantha. Well, one of my favorites. But she wasn't sure if that was meant to be a compliment, given that Nakamoto seemed to prefer girls too inexperienced to avoid his advances. The implication she might be a favorite struck Samantha as insulting. You always did like the oblivious ones. Samantha, you know how the clan is. We wouldn't have hired you if... If I were a more sophisticated girl? No, no. Nakamoto seemed to think he was being subtle, but he was never very good at it. I presumed the fact that none of the servers spoke Japanese wasn't an accident. What is the point in denying now? Of course you understand now all that was going on. You only paid in cash. Half your men showed tattoos every time they rolled up their sleeves. Of course I knew what was going on. Oh, Yakuza. But surely you didn't expect... I always knew it was a possibility, but nobody could have anticipated things happening like they did. It was never my intention. I tried to do the right thing. My intentions were good. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Samantha glanced again at the white van parked across the road from the bar, then turned away to continue serving, barely noticing the man approaching the bar. A moment later, she tensed up and did a double take. There was something about the way the man walked. Men coming to see Nakamoto were always trembling, afraid. He looked too confident for a man about to talk to an infamous crime boss. That and the white van. It had been sitting there for the past 2 hours, and yet she hadn't seen anyone come out of the van the whole time. She turned towards the door as the man came in, realizing he was suddenly flanked by several men on either side. Their chests were too thick for their stature, the kind of bulk that comes from Kevlar undersuit jackets. Nobody move. Samantha found herself looking at a badge, a handgun, and several men holding what looked like military-grade submachine guns. Taro Nakamoto, we have a warrant for your arrest. I am Taro Nakamoto. Please, no need for the big guns. You're frightening them. He gestured to the cocktail waitress huddled behind the bar. Nakamoto stepped forward. He intended to turn himself in. His men watched in disbelief, but one by one they dropped their guns and held their empty hands up. Except for one. He was standing near the door, his right hand hovering at his hip. Gun! The young gangster who had drawn the gun crumpled as several gunshots rang out from the back of the room. Another one of Nakamoto's henchmen. Samantha hit the floor, crawling through the shattered fragments of the drink she dropped moments ago. The roaring gunfire was so loud it physically hurt her ears. Within seconds, all she could hear was ringing. She kept crawling, trying to avoid the gunfire and stampeding crowd, when she found herself pressed against the side of the bar. The man still looked up and made eye contact with Nakamoto just seconds before the bullets began to tear him apart. He cratered to the floor, and Samantha found herself face to face with a corpse. As her consciousness faded, 2 words escaped her lips. Hecking Yakuza. Of course you didn't mean for it to go down the way that it did. Nobody gets out of bed in the morning thinking, let's die today. I get up every morning prepared to die. But it is unfair of me to expect everyone around me to do the same. I'm sorry that you had to become involved. I knew that I was getting into. You never coerced me. I made the decision to be there. I made that decision every night I took those envelopes of money home with me. Don't be absurd. It was my fault entirely. There's no denying that. You weren't the one who pulled a gun. Yes, but my man did, and his actions reflect on me. How can a boss claim to be the boss if I can't accept that? Regardless of who's to blame, we both ended up here. Yes, I suppose it is best to enjoy our time here while we still can. Samantha thought to herself that if her goal was to best enjoy her remaining time here, the first thing to do would be to remove herself from Nakamoto's vicinity. Her distaste for the man had far less to do with the day they were discussing than the months leading up to it. In fact, the way Nakamoto had handled the situation was one of the most decent things he'd ever done, insofar as a crime boss behavior could be considered decent. Samantha had spent enough time pretending she didn't mind working under him in the past that navigating this conversation took little effort. Now there was nothing that made her feel bound to keep talking to the man, no sense of obligation to keep up appearances. There was only one thing keeping her in the seat listening to Nakamoto, a need for answers. Sorry, I didn't find any hibiki back there. Found some shibuimaru though, but that's what you're getting. What a treat. Thank you, miss. Maddie. Thank you, Miss Maddie. I drink tea slow, but I hope you'll have another ready by the time I finish this one. I know I forbade my men to drink our rival's whiskey. For me to drink it myself would be hypocritical. And yet here you are. Nobody's watching you, so I don't think you have to worry about that now. Except for you. Well, I won't tell. And besides, you are the boss. In that case, perhaps there are pleasures which we are only left to enjoy in death. Interesting. It may be my deceased condition that makes it so, but I would be a liar to claim this isn't the best drink I ever had. Forbidden fruit is always the sweetest. Had I tasted this drink years ago, perhaps we could have ended our turf war on more amicable terms. I find it hard to resent men who make such fine whiskey. He started laughing and Samantha joined him, more out of practiced reflex and shared mirth. Nakamoto placed his hand on her leg. She didn't flinch, but she looked at him with just the right amount of withering contempt to make him withdraw his hand. You're a very powerful woman. From the lips of the notorious Yakuza boss to the ears of the tittering cocktail waitress. You have an aura about you. Even when you serve drinks, you had a dominant energy. Everyone in the room always respected you. I wanted to make you mine. So why didn't you? Because if I had taken you, I would have destroyed the very thing I admire about you. I want you to come to me willingly. And you thought I would. If I'm to be honest, yes, you seem the type of woman who'd be drawn to men of power. I don't particularly find power that impressive when it's measured in number of dollars laundered. Power, not money. You do crave power, I could always see it in your eyes. And yet somehow I managed to resist your charms. Nakamoto smiled at Samantha, having completely missed the cutting sarcasm of her remark. Besides, I didn't move to the city expecting to find love, especially not among the ranks of a crime syndicate. No, but you found it anyways. You're right. What was his name? You know his name. Yes, but I want to hear you say it. Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi, what's wrong, baby? Don't worry. Your heart is beating so fast, something's bothering you. You know how I am. My heart always starts racing whenever I'm in bed with a beautiful woman. Stop it, what's really happening? I shouldn't tell you. And we shouldn't be together right now, that hasn't stopped us. It's Nakamoto-san, he has eyes for you. You think I don't know that? Anyone can tell by looking at him. I'm worried that he will try to take you away from me. I won't let him, I can look out for myself. That is what bothers me. One day Nakamoto will try to take you and you won't let him. Nakamoto does not take kindly to being snubbed. Let me deal with that. I hate that man. Shh, don't say that. Why shouldn't I say it? I hate him. Anyone could be listening. Your walls have ears and let them hear. How can you stand it, serving him every day from under his oppressive thumb? I do it the same way you do, one day at a time. My father told me Nakamoto was a despicable man. I should have listened to him. I feel deep in my soul, Samantha. If we stay here, bad things will start to happen. We're good at surviving bad things. Not like this. There are some things you can't survive. There are some things you need to run away from. You know we can't do that. There may be a way. What are you saying? Samantha, before I tell you, I need to know. Will you come with me? What are you planning? Tell me first. If I do this, we can never come back to the city. Will you come with me? Will you leave them behind? Nakamoto is not the kind of man that you can simply walk away from. He'll be when I am done. Samantha, tell me now. Will you come with me? I can't. Of course you can. The question is, will you? Kiyoshi. His name was Kiyoshi. I just realized something. Instead of doing Kyoshi, it was Kiyoshi. I wonder if that's a my bad, not a localization error. I wonder if that's a transcription error, or if they just didn't really understand how the language worked, or if that actually is how it's written.
I have no idea.
Because usually when there's a ki and a yo, they get mixed together into kyo instead of kiyo. Weird. You're not like the others. Samantha regarded the young... What does that word even mean? Cocksure man standing before her. One of Nakamoto's men. She knew his name was Kiyoshi. Samantha, of course, had made a point of memorizing the names of all of the men who worked under Nakamoto. But she was aware admitting she knew who he was would be taken as a sign of flattery, so she played dumb. I'm sorry, you're one of Nakamoto's men, right? Why do you do that? Do what? Play dumb? You know that I'm one of Nakamoto's men. You know my name. Not everyone knows your name. You're right, in fact, very few people do. I'm not as memorable as some of my peers. But you remember my name regardless. You know everyone else by name. There's not a chance that you don't know who I am. I'm forgetful. Funny, you always seem to remember people's name when it's important. What are you saying? I'm saying that you seem to enjoy privately embarrassing Nakamoto's men while having the good sense to never publicly humiliate them. I'm not bothered by it, if that's what you're wondering. But you're a lot more clever than you allow others to believe. That makes two of us. She was beginning to think that the soft-spoken Kiyoshi was a lot more attentive than any of Nakamoto's henchmen were, and that made her uneasy. But she knew that he had already gotten whatever he wanted from this conversation. Not so different, you and I. I disagree. She didn't see the need to list the various ways in which they were different in both station and demeanor. Perhaps you're right. You have the courage to show the men how little you care for them. I lack that courage, but it's clear that you and I both feel the same way about them. By the way, you're not like the others. I was wondering if you'd ever notice. I always did like Kiyoshi. He always bowed when he needed to and always said the right things, but he showed contempt with every bow, every action. He had a way of insulting you even as he delivered a compliment, very against what I was usually look for in my men. But he had courage, determination. Moxie, I can see why a woman like you would be attracted to him. I always worried about him, but I knew that he was destined to do great things. Who knows, perhaps one day he could replace me. Who will replace you? Who can say? Many of my lieutenants were there that day, my right and left hands. In all the time that she had known him, Nakamoto had never been a man to lean. He always stood stiff as a board, his spine was so rigid that it seemed he was afraid that it would snap if he allowed it to bend, even in the slightest. That rigid posture, along with his platform heels, allowed Nakamoto to pass for several inches taller than he really was. Samantha had suspected it was his attempt to make himself seem more physically imposing, but to her it always had the opposite effect, making him appear comically uncomfortable in his own body. Then again, Nakamoto was never really a man who had coveted luxury for himself, so perhaps his self-inflicted discomfort was in character. And that made his physical relaxation so unsettling. This was a side of Nakamoto she had never seen, but perhaps this side would be willing to talk. How many people do you suppose died in that pub? Perhaps a better question would be who managed to survive. Perhaps they are just like us, waiting to walk through that door. Perhaps that would be a better fate for them. Any who survived will surely be arrested. After all, if I had been arrested, I would not be enjoying this very fine whiskey. Maybe they escaped? I doubt that very much. Yakuza do many things. Running is not one of them. Besides, have you seen Kojiri? That man is too fat to outrun anyone. Samantha, you don't have to keep pretending. I know you don't like me. My men always told me that it was just your Western manner of flirting, but that you were teasing, playing at being hard to get. But I know contempt when I see it. You think I hold you in contempt? No, I was speaking of the men who offered me false flattery. You don't like me. Ah, but who can blame you? It is the nature of hierarchy. Hatred for the organization is always directed upward. It is a healthy and natural thing, is it not? Better to resent people above you than to resent the people working next to you. It is in a way a powerful tool for bonding. It is something that you all went through together and that made you closer, did it not? I never really became close friends with any of the other girls. No, I thought not. But I wasn't talking about them. You know who I'm talking about. Nakamoto is part of a dying generation. I'm pretty sure that's how all generations work. They have to die sometime. They make room for new generations. This generation of Yakuza will not die out. It will be chased out. It's a slow-moving organization. Everything about it from the inside out is based on an old way of doing things that is rapidly becoming not only outdated but painful to look at. A premise of a clan is founded on the expectation that all of its members will be members for life, bound to each other and the organization. This is the only solution. Kiyoshi, you don't mean to... This whole organization needs to die, though it will take 10 years of my life along with it. It has given me something that I hate, and yet I can't bring myself to give it up. In a way, it has become a part of me. You are not your job. Nakamoto would disagree. So would my parents, including my uncle, who is a police. Things are different for you, but where I am from, this is true of any institution or organization. The first 10 or 20 years that you spend in the organization are not truly spent doing anything of substance. The purpose of your first decade is training you to be a member of the clan. Sounds like an extensive training program. I didn't realize that Yakuza value training and education so highly. It's not a training program as you might imagine it. Most of it is being subject to artificial hardship to demonstrate that you are trustworthy and loyal to the clan. Many of these hardships are designed to be humiliating or otherwise damaging. This is not an overlooked flaw of the initiation process. It is intentionally that way by design. Like hazing. Hazing. It's a practice for initiating people into social groups. It's not just a Yakuza thing, I assure you. You do this in your home country? I was hazed several times in college, sororities, other honor societies, other things. Ah. Organizations addicted to the old ways of doing things. I suppose so. Hazing is a torch passed on from one generation to the next. And I suppose the upside is that you get a bunch of loyal foot soldiers. No, the upside is that you get a large number of people who will only perpetuate the institution complete with all its flaws. And you need to find a way to clear the ranks, burn it all to the ground, start from scratch. Better yet, burn it all to the ground and leave it smoldering. I wish I could. And yet there's something deep in me that would hate to see it so. I know how much you hate Nakamoto. But you see, I don't. Even if I want to hate him, I cannot. The kind of loyalty that is built up over many years, it does not go away simply because you wish it to. Y'all are going to kill my throat.
I was gonna say, how's your throat going?
Not well.
Do you need me to help you?
It's fine. Theoretically, it should only be like 20 more minutes max, I hope.
Hopefully.
So that is the insidious thing about this organization. It changes you even as you realize what it is doing to you, even as you hate it. For me to say I hate Nakamoto would be the same as saying that I hate what I've become. And that is not something I say easily, even though it may be true. You are not like Nakamoto. I wish what you say was true. You're right. Kiyoshi hated you. Did he tell you that? Samantha didn't bother to answer Nakamoto's question. She hated rhetorical questions with passion. Several moments of silence later, she noticed Nakamoto fidgeting. Nakamoto was a man who carried himself with undue amount of pomp, and it was not easy to make a man that straight-laced fidget. She took a certain amount of pleasure from his visible discomfort. Oh, something is wrong with the shadows here.
Yeah, you see that too.
Oh, madam, your polygons, they're showing! The thought occurred to her that the way she tried to get a certain reaction from Nakamoto was not so different from his habit of dominated conversation. But she justified this to herself easily. The worst thing about Nakamoto was that he was a poor steward of power. He diminished the power of others because he enjoyed taking it for himself, and he correctly perceived it as being zero-sum. Samantha didn't crave power, but she very much enjoyed seeing Nakamoto being brought down a few notches, even if only for a moment. Of course, he told you all the ways he despised me in my old ways. This is how every passionate relationship begins, is it not? The strongest bonds are built not out of mutual respect, but out of a shared hatred for something or someone else. That's not usually how you make friends, sir. Usually it's, you know, like, oh, cool. I like this thing. I also like this thing. We both like this thing. My good sir, you have no idea how a relationship works. So of course he would pick me as the subject to hire to win you over. Hiroshi was a very shrewd man. He always had a talent for getting exactly what he wanted. You don't know the first thing about what kind of man Kiyoshi was. He's far more dangerous than he looks. Oh god, more backstory. Can't carry a gun, too dangerous. Not when you know how to use one. I don't mean dangerous to safety, dangerous to get caught with. Guaranteed jail time on conviction. And yet somehow all your friends seem to deal with it. Colleagues, not friends. So how come they bear the risk of getting caught with a firearm and you don't? I need to stay clean. The clan has many properties in my name. If I were caught carrying a firearm, I would defeat the purpose. I didn't realize that you had an ownership stake in the clan. I technically do, but do you think that I actually see any of the money that passes through my establishments? They use my name, but I have no power. And if you ever try to leave? Yes, now you understand why things are so complicated. Even if I leave, I will still carry the taint of association. There's no avoiding it. Why you? Why not do it under someone else's name? I may have lied to you before. I told you I don't carry a gun because there are many properties under my name. They needed someone who looked squeaky clean. Squeaky clean? Someone with a spotless record, perfect, free of imperfections. That's me, Mr. Spotless, though I don't think that anyone in the clan would describe me that way. I'm actually very far from perfect. I'm just the man that they needed. I think you're what I need too. What does that mean? You may not be perfect, but you're what I'm looking for right now. You don't want to be tied up with me. I can't endure these circumstances. How could I expect you to do the same? You need to escape. It's too late for me, but not for you. It's not too late. I have nowhere to run to. I've been thinking of going to the police. Kiyoshi looked at her with pained eyes, unable to say anything more. Finally, Samantha spoke up. Are you going to? No deal. They would not be able to make a deal without me agreeing to testify against him. And that is something I cannot do, not without fearing of my own life. No matter where Nakamoto is, he will find me. Even dead, his ghost would haunt me. My only option is to disappear. My own crimes are far too great to be forgiven, even if I do betray Nakamoto. And besides, I cannot trust the police. If there is even one corrupt officer who allows my name to escape, Nakamoto has one principle and one principle alone: dead men can't talk. There are always more options. You're right. I could inform the police anonymously, send them to where they can confront one of Nakamoto's deals directly. I know when he's having one of his business meetings, but it won't be pretty. You're the only person I can tell this to, because when the police finally catch up with him, people will die. And I don't want you anywhere near there when that happens. Can you promise me this? Kiyoshi, I need to tell you something. You can't go to the police. Tell me why I shouldn't. You'll ruin everything. This life is already ruined. Best I can hope for now is a chance of atonement. This may not make things better, but I cannot think of how they would become any worse with me to continue to serve under that. Please, Kiyoshi. I have a plan to subvert Nakamoto. All the more reason for me to go to the police. I can't allow you to be the one and run in harm's way. You don't understand. This will work. You think you're the first one to think about taking Nakamoto down. People much stronger than you, people more well-connected than you have tried it before. How could you possibly see where they have failed? Okay, here we go. Kiyoshi, you are right. I am not like the others. There's something very different about me. Tell me. Well, if you believe that you know Kiyoshi better than I do, you are welcome to think it. Well, I don't see how that could possibly be the case. I spent more than a decade with the man. He was never just a servant to me. Not even close. The boss must hold the respect of his men. It is a powerful bond. Nakamoto sounded frustrated, but his voice grew increasingly soft. Do you believe that your months-long fling with him really meant more than that? Do you really have the ability to look into a man's eyes, to peer into his soul, sense his true desires and motives? You are truly a fool if you believe this. Samantha found herself taken aback by Nakamoto's aggressive speech. For a moment, she thought that perhaps Nakamoto was right, that she didn't have the soul read on him. But as the moment passed, she came to be an inferior relation. But as the moment passed, she came to an infuriating realization. Nakamoto pitied her. Do not underestimate me. As she felt the words leaving her lips, she found herself instantly regretting it. There was no faster way to lose respect than to demand it like a petulant child. She appeared weak and desperate, traits she mirrored in the man sitting across from her. Nakamoto wanted only to toy with her. She needed a punch to throw him off guard, something unexpected. She needed to tell the truth. I hate you. It does not surprise me to hear that you feel that way. It does, however, surprise me to hear you say it out loud. I don't think you understand the extent of it. I detest you, not for what you did to me, but for what you did to everyone who worked under me. If you hate me so much, why don't you just kill me? You're already dead. You never understood, but I did. Every single word you spoke in every single one of your business meetings. I wasn't the dumb little American girl you thought I was. Part of me always thought that a girl like you seemed too sophisticated to be a simple drink server. So who are you reporting to? Police? Give yourself more credit. It's not just the cops who got their eyes on you. And give me some more credit. I am no mere informant. So what are you? CIA. Part of a 2-year investigation. So you were out to get me from the start, were you? Are you happy that you finally brought me down? Happy that you put me in a body bag? It was a job. I did my duty. I'm sure that as a career criminal you can relate. You don't always get to do the thing you want to do. Sometimes you do the thing that has to be done. So everything went all according to your plan. Not all according to plan. The part where bullets started flying and I ended up here, that definitely wasn't part of the plan. I expected that you'd tried to end things peacefully. Well, I guess things went wrong for both of us. And here we are, doomed to enjoy the same fate. Wow, him angry. I ain't trying to say that. My throat's not ready for it. Well, since you've been so generous in sharing your secret with me, I suppose I should respond in kind. Samantha... I'm not Nakamoto. Samantha sat stunned. She had one occasion considered a possibility that Nakamoto might merely be a figurehead. That he might just be a middle manager in a larger organization. But all of the important meetings had always been taken at public. She hadn't been party to every discussion or meeting, but she knew it was the place where decisions were made. The man sitting in front of her wasn't the true boss, and it must have been someone else in the room. I'm his henchman. I exist solely for one purpose. For the day that someone tries to kill Nakamoto or worse, they will get me instead. I assure you that the real boss is safe and sound by now. He's probably on a boat out of the country as we speak. She knew that the real ringleader must have been one of the men who sat in the meetings in public. Every face she had recognized had been there the day of the CIA crackdown. It had been scheduled during a meeting. Even if Nakamoto wasn't the true ringleader, the ringleader by now had been arrested, if not one of the men shot to death. All of your men were there when the police showed up. None could have escaped arrest, or worse. There is one who was absent. Nakamoto, sorry, I guess I shouldn't call you that. Do you have a real name? I suppose there's no harm in discussing it now. My name is Kiyoshi. Oh. Yes, I stepped into Nakamoto's shoes, and in turn, he stepped into mine. Your simple switcheroo, how embarrassing for you. So that means the real Nakamoto... For me to say that I hate Nakamoto would be the same as saying that I hate what I've become. The real Nakamoto... Yes, your lover boy was really the big villain you hoped to take down. Samantha reeled. Physical fatigue, anxiety, panic, those were things she had learned to stave off long ago. Nakamoto wasn't sharp enough to realize just how rare it was for Samantha to find herself dizzied like this. But he did know that he had gotten a reaction out of her. You know, you're probably dead right now because of him. I bet that kid in the bar pulled the gun because the real Nakamoto told him to. You may be right, perhaps he left me to die. But then, that is my job, as a decoy, to be ready to die when the boss requires it. In fact, he warned me it might be happening. I spoke with him before. He told me you gave him immunity. Mr. Big Bad Never to See Trial. That's not how it works. He can still be charged. But who will charge him? Why would they charge a small fry like Kiyoshi? As far as everyone is concerned, the big bad boss is now dead. Most of the potential witnesses too, I imagine. One of Nakamoto's greatest strengths was his ability to project a veneer of stoicism. He was always the sort of man that expresses power subtly, never flexing, always taking pride and never raising his voice. But in this moment he was reveling. Oh, sorry. He had nothing to gain and nothing to hide. He was clearly enjoying watching Samantha score him. She saw no reason to continue obliging him. Samantha didn't bother to look behind her to see if he was following. He desperately wanted to continue enjoying his victory, and Samantha wasn't turning around to give it to him. Samantha. By calling out to her, it was practically an admission of defeat on his part. He needed her to see that he was victorious in order to enjoy the moment. A small, petty man, obsessed with status. So obsessed that in the pursuit of it, he had given up the only remaining standing he had left. And so Samantha couldn't resist succumbing to the same temptation. You had lost everything. The one you thought you could trust betrayed you, and the one no one will be around to avenge the betrayal. And no one outside this place will ever know of it. I know of at least one person who will. Oh? Kiyoshi. Did I ever say he was dead? Oh! Did I ever say... let me just go back and read it. Oh? Kiyoshi. Did I ever say I was dead? Oh. Thanks for the tip about Nakamoto. I'm sure he'll never believe how I found out about his identity. What was it he said to me? The dead can't talk. Maybe he needs to rethink that. She started to turn around, but the one thing that stopped her was the look in his eyes. The look of someone who was finally unhinged and realized that he truly had nothing left to lose, not even his own dignity. It was the look of a man who was ready to fight. Samantha had spent 6 months working under the man she knew as Nakamoto, observing him as he did business with myriad parties. Before she thought she knew what it meant to see him angry in a moment when he flexed his power over his underlings. She thought she knew what a wrathful Nakamoto looked like. She realized now that the anger she'd seen from him previously was simply cold, calculated malice. This was rage. He came at her with a flailing amateurish punch. She's CIA. She'd be trained in combat. His arms were longer than hers, but she trained for this. Samantha drove her fist into his chest. Against it being a flesh and blood, this would be an instant knockout. But Nakamoto didn't even register the hit. Hey, Maddie? Samantha watched as he lunged forward, downward, his hands reaching towards her throat, waiting for the last possible moment to kick him away. Samantha heard an unpleasant crunch as his hand bore the weight of his fall. A crunch, but no howl of pain. He was already up, his hand quickly erasing any signs that had sustained the fall. You! It was only the inertia of her kick that had forced him back, and once he regained his footing, he came at her again. Samantha couldn't stop Nakamoto in hand-to-hand combat. Caffeine's enchantments kept its customers' bodies intact as best it could. But as with everything that stood in Samantha's way, she'd found a workaround. Samantha drew a Pieta revolver with a wooden grip. Her gun's brass construction recalled an era when steel was scarce and superstition and fear of ghosts were anything but. It was no coincidence, then, that the black powder weaponry of the 19th century was perfectly built for causing real, tangible harm to wayward spirits. Oh, neat! She let out a yell and pushed the weapon into his chest, unloading the shot. But by the time the .44 round passed through him, his body was already stitching itself back together. But the black powder from the gun discharge remains inside him. He howled in pain as his body tried to reconstruct itself from his fatal chest wound. His flesh was in constant war of trying to warp itself to cover the hole and flinching away from the sulfur powder that was beginning to seep deeper and deeper into his body. How? Nakamoto, no, Kiyoshi. Did you think we met here by accident? Do you think I hadn't come prepared? Wow, she's the real one here.
Interesting.
He tumbled to the ground and rolled over on his side, trying to get up on his one good leg. You styled yourself a Prince of Thieves. He fell to the ground in a slump, raised his one good arm, reaching out to her like an animated corpse trying to take the living with him. That's technically what he is. But now you'll die, like a dog. Goodbye, Kiyoshi. Go to hell. Man, imagine being a customer at a cafe and hearing gunshots outside, like What's happening? Are they going to walk back in here? I had a feeling she wasn't dead. I'm done. Need any materials extracted? This is my point 44. I'm taking a commercial flight out. Why can't you just use standard equipment like the rest of us? Tell me which part of my job description includes the word standard. Abnormal job calls for abnormal equipment. Life would be easier if you didn't have such a specific taste in guns. Believe me, nothing about this is about my taste in guns. This thing is a brute of a weapon. Poor construction, nearly impossible to grip, and a recoil shield that's not worth it. It's the only gun that makes you feel like your hands are somehow too big and too small at the same time. It bucks like heck, it's a single action, so you have to flip the hammer with every shot, and it has the wrong side of one of the bloodiest wars in world history. I hate this gun, so I use it. Carries the stink of slave owners and sulfur with it everywhere it goes. I hate it. Spirits hate it even more. Like oil and water? More like fatal allergic reaction. If you ever need to bring a walk or two to Nice, bring a black powder revolver. I think I'll leave that to you. I have some important information about the informant. Yoshi? Yes, but that's not his real name. I would have figured. Do you know where he is? Did someone get to him? What? He somehow vanished off our radar this morning. I was worried someone had taken him out. He disappeared? Yes, did Nakamoto tell you anything about that? Oh. Hello? I'm sorry? No, everything went exactly as planned. Just need to get rid of some dead wood. No, I'm working on something new. Huh? Rebuilding. Of course. He's insane. Got it. Well, that sucked. Go Samantha, though. Shh. Well, there's a ton of extra content like these, but I think I'll leave that if anyone actually wants to get the game for themselves. You get to read it, because my throat can't handle that and I don't want to play this game for another stream. I love this game. I would absolutely read all this on stream. My throat, however, does not. So let us quit. Let's go to this scene.
Let us.
That reminds me, did I ever actually... Okay, good.
Did you?
I needed to check if I actually ever changed the stream's title and game, because I forgot if I did that or not. That would have been weird.
Yeah, that would have been weird. I wonder, are the side stories like a DLC or something that was in the game from the beginning?
I have no idea. I think there was like a Final Four quote-unquote DLC, but it was like, you know, an update DLC. Let me check.
Because I wonder if like some of the things in the side stories, like the, let's say, glitches and the weird stuff, if it wasn't, for example, like maybe a bit rush thing at the end of the
Okay, so yeah,
development.
that was a side story that was added in the Final Four DLC.
Let me see.
And then studio mode is also Final Pour and Doodle Mode is Final Pour. But it's not a separate game, it's the same game, it's just like an update DLC. Interesting. Well, we do have time, and I would 100% love to, switch to a different game, except for the fact that I can't commentate anymore.
You have talked a lot.
I will never play a visual novel ever again. At least on stream.
Yeah, I feel like visual novels should just, I don't know, maybe have like at least an AI that can read the stuff for you. At least that.
Yeah. So, I will say that I'm not adverse to doing visual novels again, just not in live stream format.
No, I get that, yes, of course.
I would love to do visual novels in recorded format instead.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get that.
Because I think I'm going to die.
No, don't do that. You're too much precious.
Oh.
Don't do it.
Okay, fine. Because you said so. What we can do, because, where is it? I'm looking for the buttons. I think CZ's streaming. I think they're streaming Wingspan right now. Yeah, they are. They are 100% indeed streaming Wingspan. Cool bird game. So, you know what, let's hop over there.
Yee, let's do that. Let's say hi.
Yeah. But real quick before we do that, let me say where. Oh, well, you can do stretch break afterwards. No. What was I going to say?
Schedule stuff.
Thank you! Right. So, on Saturday, we are going to start playing the Chizo Mythos games, starting with, I think, if I remember correctly, 5 Days a Stranger, I think. I don't think the games will take all stream, so it's very likely that, yeah, I think it is 5 days. It's 5 days, then is it 6 days? Then, you know what? I'll look up the order. It's one of them. But, you know, it's the games made by Fully Remblotic. They're spooky. Going to start doing the spooky games. Then on Monday, we are going to continue our trials and tribulations inside Going Under, because I did not expect for it to have a whole second chapter. Dun dun dun. It's just like, you struggled through it the first time, we'll do it again, but harder. And I'm like, oh, okay. I love the game, it's a good game. But, oh, I did not expect it to be that long. And on Wednesday, I have, actually, let me think. What should we do Wednesday? Since I want to start the spooky. What games do I have listed under spooky? I don't think I actually went through all my games to look for spooky. I did, no, there's no way I'm playing that right after. Cause that's a VN. We'll figure out later what I'm playing on Wednesday. Cause I don't know. I do suppose... Okay. I didn't want to do it on Wednesday because it would have lined up better for Monday's slot. But I think I'll start Prey on Wednesday if I don't find another game. Well, that's a tentative might be Prey. But on that note, let's get this set up. Do that. And then do this. Thank you all so much for coming, and I hope you all have a great day, night, evening, or whatever time it is for you. And I shall see you all next time. Bye.
Take care, everyone.